Hey friends, welcome back to another video and to another week of. This week we're gonna do things slightly different just because I don't have a ton of stuff to do. I am gonna mix in a little bit of plant chores with everything else I'm doing, but this week I'm gonna try to do like 3 mini videos into one video, if that makes sense. And I'm just gonna film it over a week. These are kind of plant ideas that I've had, or plant video ideas that I've had that I've wanted to do, but they wouldn't be quite long enough to be its own video because I like to publish at least 30-minute videos and longer. So I've decided to just like mash them all into one video. So today's video is going to be kind of a bittersweet one. I think some of you are probably going to be disappointed, but I have to do this, and that is get rid of more philodendron. I just feel like over the period of collecting, since being in this hobby, you just kind of like learn what you like and what you don't like. Your collection is always sort of transforming and transitioning into something else. And I don't want to hold on to plants just because I've had it for a long time, just because I feel like that's what is expected of me, because I'd feel guilty about getting rid of them. I want to have the collection that makes me happy every day. I want to be excited about every new leaf that comes out. And truth be told, these are just not doing it for me anymore. And I will give you my own reasons for each plant, and we're gonna kind of just say goodbye to them together. Like I said, I was gonna do this whole video on how philodendron just became so prolific and so sought after in the community, like back in 2019, 2020, and then how it just all dropped off when anthurium kind of took over. And I'm not gonna say that I am there just yet, or ever, because there are always going to be other genus of plants that are going to make me as excited as anthurium. And honestly, if my entire collection was anthurium, I think I would be pretty bored. Oh, this hair is tickling me. I'm literally about to chop it off. It's like a single piece of hair that keeps tickling my back. But these philodendrons specifically, I wanted to commemorate them in a goodbye video because these are plants that I've loved so much over the years that I really, like, I've been at sort of like a high with them and like at a low. There were points where like it was like my ultimate favorite plant. I was putting everything into it, and then there were times where it was just a stump. And I can't really keep up with the maintenance of philodendron anymore. I had opened up my question box asking people why they're starting to ditch their philodendron, and across the board, it's the maintenance. I think people either really love philodendron because of how easy they are to grow and size up, or they're frustrated with them because it takes so much to size them up. So there's two different sort of ends of the spectrum with the frustrations of philodendron. There are some people who say they grow too fast, they grow too big, and I don't have space for it. I have no time to keep chopping and propping and repolling, whatever. And I think I'm sort of in between, more so on the side of struggling with them because I struggle to like keep up with poles. Poles is another reason why a lot of people said that they were ditching philodendron. They just did not want to do pole maintenance anymore, and I think that's super fair. I just want to say goodbye to these plants in a proper way and maybe throw in some photos of when they were like at their best or when I was really loving on them. And we're just gonna say goodbye together. I think I'm gonna start with the smallest one, the one that's like the easiest for me to say goodbye to, and that one is this philodendron pink glory. I'm not feeling really remorseful about getting rid of this one because it was a new import, and by the way, if you don't know what this is a gloriosum linamii. That is the hybrid. I got this from Equigenera last year, and I bought it more so for the emergent leaf. The hardened off leaf, It looks pretty okay. It looks kind of like a glorified, I don't want to say glorified. It looks like a more pink pastazenum, and I'm not a huge fan of the pastazenum. Actually, no, it looks like a very pink Dean McDowell, and I love the Dean McDowell, but the emergent leaf, oh, it just knocks the Dean McDowell out of the park. And I was like, I need to have it, I need to have it. And I got it, and I was really underwhelmed. The emergent leaf is nice, but I feel like you have to have a really big specimen to enjoy it. But then I was thinking, if I'm just owning this plant for the emergent leaf, I just don't know if it's worth the trouble of growing it, the space, having to have it in a crawling pot eventually, dealing with spider mites. Because it pretty much just looks like the sibling of a Dean McDowell, and so for that reason I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna show you guys a photo of the picture that kind of swindled me to get this plant. I had posted in my story like that I was thinking about getting rid of it and what people thought, like should I do it, should I not, and it was like not even a competition. Everyone was like, chuck it. There was one person that messaged me saying that she really does love her pink glory, but she only has it for the emergent leaf, and I think that's where I'm at too. So I am, by the way, I'm not gonna be throwing these plants away yet. I know it is a divided thing. I watched another plant YouTuber's video about kind of like redoing her plants, and she threw away or composted a bunch of plants, and the comment section did not pass the vibe check. And I know that that's always going to be a divided thing in the plant community, whether it is ethical to get rid of plants because they are living beings or whatever. Here's my thought on it is, I love the idea of sharing plants. I have shared so many plants over the years. Sharing plants is top 3 reasons why I love being in this hobby. But realistically, if you think about the millions and millions of people in this plant hobby and all of the hundreds and hundreds of plants that we have, there are too many plants and not enough people. And unfortunately, where I live specifically, the market is so saturated. We have a lot of people importing into Vancouver. We have a bunch of plant shops that import. We have a plant shop that is tissue culturing everything that you can think of. And so when you have a plant like this, like, unless you're gonna deliver it to them and then massage their feet after, it is so hard to get rid of plants. Our local plant group, we have a free Friday where people just get rid of plants, and it's just so like week after week you just see this entire thread of unclaimed plants, and people are posting week after week after week just trying to get rid of the same plant. And honestly, it's work, you know, like I have to keep these things pest free, I have to keep them watered, I have to keep fertilizing them. And especially if I know a plant has been exposed to a pest, I personally just don't feel good about rehoming it. Even if I say like it has pests, like be comfortable with, you know, rehabbing or whatever, it just doesn't feel good to me. So if it's not like a specimen piece, like it's not like a wow plant and it's just like a little cutting or a little plant like this, if I can't get rid of it to someone that like I know, I probably won't get rid of it to a stranger. Another thing that you can do if you do have pests and you want to get rid of plants is just stumping it and just, you know, giving them a chunk, because they have a better chance of getting rid of pests like that. But again, it is so hard to get rid of things in my area, and it's just not feasible for me to just hang on to these plants for X amount of time. So that is my reasoning, you guys. If I lived in a place where I could just like throw my plants on a sidewalk and it would be picked up, I would do it. But the truth is, 1, I would get in trouble. I'm not allowed to do that. 2, in our temperatures, especially right now in the winter, it's gonna die within a couple, I was gonna say minute. It's gonna die within a couple hours being outside. But I have posted free things on Marketplace. I've posted free things on Craigslist, free things in 3 of our neighborhood groups. And it's just like, it's a hit or miss with getting rid of plants. So while I understand that it's just better to give them like a new life somewhere else, that's just not the reality all of the time. And so that is why I choose to just compost a bunch of plants sometimes. And now that I have my loamy, I just feel like if I'm composting it and then like planting it into something new, it kind of feels like a new start. I don't know. Maybe that's me trying to make myself feel better. But anyway, that's my rant on getting rid of plants. That's my stance on it. I don't judge you if you don't have the same stance, but that is what I do around here. Anyway, so the first plant to go is going to be this pink glory. Not really feeling any type of way about it. This one really has not. I think it's had spider mites once, but other than that, it's been pretty okay. So I think I might stump that one and try and give it away. I have a bunch of other stumps in my prop boxes that I think I could do like a little bundle that would entice someone to come get it for free. Okay, what is the second most painful one? Okay, I'm gonna do this one. This one honestly speaks for itself, and if you can't understand why this one is going, then I don't know what to tell you. Oh, look at the wingspan on her. She's wild. This is my philodendron billietiae. I know. I feel like you are really high. Give me 1 second. Sorry. What you doing all the way up there? I feel like I influenced a decent amount of people to get the billy. This is a hard sell. It really is. It does not have the qualities that I think many people are looking for in a plant. I was just okay. I was just going to show you how you can tame your billy, but I fear I went a little too far. Anyway, it's a hard sell, and I understand it does not have the features of a plant that most people are into. Dude, look at this. You guys, this is literally longer than my leg. These petioles, they're like as long as my leg. It's wild. I really liked it when it was a young plant, when it was able to fit on a shelf with the rest of my other plants. But this thing grows so fast, and I can't keep up with it. And I feel like it requires such specific, I feel like it requires such specific light to grow well. Otherwise, it's just gonna look something like this. Sometimes you're gonna see photos, especially of sellers selling like the variegated billietiae, where like all the leaves are just, and they're just so, it's like so beautifully, you know, like cascaded in the front. I think that they kind of stake the leaves like this on a pole, and then maybe the light comes from the front, and that's why it faces like this, because otherwise I find that they just face up, they face down, they grow this way, they grow that way, they grow wherever they want to grow, and it's just not, I just can't manage it. I have moved this plant so many times, and it just gets in the way of everything. It gets in the way of the TV, the microwave, our faces, and I can't do it anymore, you guys. Don't get me wrong, I still really do love this plant. I just think it's like the silliest, cutest little thing. But I do have the variegated billietiae, which has now decided to revert. So I still technically kind of have one, but I just don't think that I can hang on to this plant anymore. This is another one that is gonna be an impossible giveaway here in Canada, not in Canada, but locally, because one, they're selling this in the stores for like $3.99. I'm not even joking. Something this big, nobody is gonna want it when it has this growth pattern. I will try. This one actually hasn't had pests from what I can remember, but yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be an easy giveaway. I really don't. It has activated new growth points. They're probably gonna be really, really tiny, but again, I don't know. I just don't know. So it is very sad to get rid of this because It's been with me for so long. This is one of the first philodendron that I fell in love with. I actually first fell in love with the ataboense back in 2018. My sister got one from an importer in California and I was just like obsessed with it. And then I discovered the billy and I was like, oh my gosh, these orange petioles, they are everything. Another thing I'd like to mention, I feel like when you don't give the billy a lot of light, the stems they're not orange. And that's one thing I really, really loved it for. My variegated billy is getting a ton of light right now, so the petioles are super orange. Let me show you. These ones used to be really orange when it was getting a lot of light, but as it's gotten bigger and I haven't been able to give it a lot of light, they've just turned like this brown color, and I feel like it's kind of lost its, I don't know, the like magic. But like, look at that. It's just so cool. I really, really, really like the billy. In theory, I would be able to have a really large billy live somewhere in my house, but I just don't have that kind of space right now, maybe ever. I'm sure the next place we move to after this, if our landlord kicks us out, which we almost had a scare this weekend. He sent us an email and I really thought we were getting the boot, but luckily we're not. But yeah, we're definitely probably gonna be downgrading or like downsizing to like a 2-bedroom. I might not even have a plant room in the new whatever place we end up renting next or buying. So yeah, I've just got to be realistic. So this is another one that I'm gonna be getting rid of. Honestly, if anyone is local that wants any of these plants, please message me. Please message me. I am gonna be listing them though, probably soon, because I can't have them sitting in the middle of my plant room. Oh, that's fun. But if I still have it and you're watching this, please message me, because I really would love these specifically. I would really love for them to go to like new loving homes, because just it hits a little soft spot, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, the next one, oh gosh, these are kind of equal in sadness, getting rid of them, but I'm gonna do this one. You guys are unsubscribing, I know it. I can hear the clicks now. But my philodendron majestic, guys, I can't even tell you the excitement that I had when I first acquired this plant. I think the first time I owned it, oh yeah, okay, sorry, because I'm getting confused with the splendid. The majestic I imported with Jing, and I remember going to her house. We were splitting up like who gets what. And in the car ride home, like I had it on the driver's or the passenger seat, and I just kept looking at the leaves like, I am the luckiest girl in the world. Like, this is the coolest plant ever. And I was just in awe of it. I was in awe of like the color. I was in awe of like the variegation or the pattern, whatever you want to call it, the sheen, the way it felt. It was a magical time. And at one point, I'm gonna scooch over, it did start to get quite big, but I found that with this plant, the second you let it run out of pole, it reverts. And that's what happened to me. I feel like it hit like a good like a good size. I think the biggest leaf that I had on it was probably like this tall and like this big. Like it was like a good size. And then it ran out of pole and I just slacked, you know? And the next leaf that came out of it was like this, and then it just kept getting smaller and smaller. And I was like, oh my God, basically starting over now. And that's just been my experience. And I know that some people find this plant to be really, really easy to size up. Some people are just using a bamboo pole. I just have not had luck doing that. I don't know if it's a thing because I live in Canada or what, but to size up philodendron, I need a pole. I need a pole, and I need a pole like this. I need it to be rooted into the pole. It needs to be holding onto the pole. Otherwise, the leaves just kind of stay the same. And so yeah, I've struggled with kind of keeping this at a size that makes me happy. And I do like a good challenge, but at some point you reach a threshold of like, when is it now becoming sort of a headache or a chore to maintain? And I've been there for a while now. And every time a new leaf comes out, I just don't have that same excitement anymore. And I will say that it is kind of sad. Here's like a little tangent. Sorry if you hate when I ramble, but I was thinking the other day, like when I was thinking about all these plants that I'm getting rid of and prepping for this video, again, going back to the majestic story, I can remember with my Splendid, the day that I got my Splendid, you guys, I was in the car like this, holding my single leaf, and I was stroking it and I was feeling it. I rubbed it on my face and I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I just remember being so happy. I remember like back in 2020, just getting a new plant or getting a new philodendron or whatever. It was just this rush of like, this is the best hobby ever. And I still get, I don't know, I almost lied to you. I don't get that anymore. And I find it to be really sad. I find it to be really sad that I've become kind of desensitized to it. And I don't know if that makes me ungrateful or what, but even when I get like a wish list plant, of course I'm excited and I'm happy, but I don't have that same like tunnel vision, can't hear anything around me, like just wow, like holy moly, I can't believe I'm holding this. Like I remember when Alice, she imported the heterocraspidon, and that was like crazy wish list plant for both of us at that point. And we were FaceTiming, I think we were FaceTiming, or she sent videos or something. And I was just like mind blown, like,
oh my God, I can't believe you have one.
And now it's like, you know, here's an example. I got the anthurium blood moon from Dania. And of course, I'm so grateful and I'm so excited. But I think if I had gotten that plant in 2020, I probably would have needed medical care. Whereas now, I don't know if it's, I'm sure it has to be like that for everyone, but I'm just a little bit more, I'm a lot more desensitized to new plants and whatever. And I don't know, I really miss that like, whoa feeling, right? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I just feel like I sound so ungrateful right now. And I don't want to come off that way because I am so grateful, especially because so many of these plants are just like gifts from people. And like, I know being in the position that I am where I have like a YouTube and like somewhat of a larger following, it's like you do get a lot of gifts and stuff like that. And I would not have this collection if it weren't for the people that were around me. But I don't know, it's just, there was something about being in the hobby for the first time. I mean, I've owned plants since 2012 or 2011. Like, it's been a long time, but it's like they were succulents, they were bird of paradise, you know, your ficus elastica, plants like that. Nothing like this where it was like you had to like study the science of it. And of course, when I like discovered aeroids from overseas, I was just mind blown because I didn't even know that this existed. But yeah, there was something about like those first few years. I would say like 2018 to 2020 was like the most exciting for me. And I'm not going to use the word fizzled out because I love plants and I love this hobby more than I could ever I could ever describe. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when you're in a new relationship and you have like the butterflies and it's like the honeymoon stage. And then as you get more comfortable, it just becomes more comfortable, or it becomes less like earth shattering. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense, so I'm going to stop talking about it. But anyway, the majestic is one that I can just remember. I so vividly remember the love and excitement that I had when I first owned it. And I was very in love with this plant for a long time. It's not like I got the plant and then was like, oh, okay, I'm over it. It really wasn't until I want to say like last year that I started getting really frustrated with this plant. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it because this has had both thrips and spider mites, and I'm not sure I want to pass that on. And honestly, these are being sold everywhere in Canada. I've seen so many people giving away majestics. I just don't know. I just don't know if someone's gonna want to adopt it, but we'll try. And then the last one, oh, I can't, okay, I'm on the fence about this. I'm really on the fence about it. I just don't know if I'm gonna regret it, but I just don't know if I could do it anymore. The sodirini, well, it ran out of water and now it's like all yellowy and looks like it's dying, and all of these roots are dead, so I'm not off to a great start if I do want to kind of keep it. But my sodirini is one that I have just invested so much of my time and love into. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into getting it even this big, you guys. There's been so much. That smells like a dirty diaper. Worse than a dirty diaper. We need distance. Look at how nasty this water is. Yeah, it's been harder. I've owned a Soderoi and it's gotten so much bigger than this, and it sized up a lot faster than this. But the Soderini, I feel like, is like kind of capped at a certain size, no matter if it was rooted into a pole or what, getting like the best light. And I feel, oh God, these leaves are so beautiful. I'm having second thoughts. I really am. I might not get rid of this. No, I might not. But then I say that, you know, that's how it happens. Like I say that I'm not, and then I start over, and then it's just the same thing over again. So anyway, I grew this from a tiny little thing. It was like the runtiest, nastiest looking thing you've ever seen. I did a whole video, I think, on it, or I featured it in a whole video of plants that I considered easy, and now that video didn't age well. So yeah, it was hard to kind of get it out of this awkward teenager phase where like you grow really mutilated, gross, just ugly leaves, and it almost seems impossible to get out of that stage. It is possible, but it takes so much. It takes so much. If you're going to grow it from a really, really tiny plant, you have to put your everything into it. I really did. I have put so much time into getting this plant to what it looks like now, which is kind of sad. I did cut it recently because it outgrew the pole. My sister wanted a cutting of it, so I gave her the bottom, and this is the top. But I do really think this is one of the coolest philodendron out there. I just love this, like the pattern and the variegation on it. I find it to be really beautiful, but oh God, that smells so bad. Ideally, I would love leaves a little bit bigger than this, but at the same time, it's like, well, if I'm running out of space for plants, like why do I want the leaves to be bigger? But I feel like I've lost that excitement. I think that I can gauge whether I love a plant based on if I'm excited about a new leaf coming out. And anytime a new leaf comes out, it's like it's invisible, like it's not even there. I don't know. Also, this has had every pest under the sun. It's had mealy bugs, definitely thrips, definitely spider mites. I can see thrips damage on the back. This is probably one that I'm not going to be giving away like this. If anything, I'll probably stump it and then give it away to someone, like in a prop pack or something. But I just feel like if someone gets it in a prop pack, they might want something else, and then they might end up just chucking this anyway. So again, it's one of those things. I don't know, because they're selling these in the stores here locally. And I'm not talking about like your little mom and pop, you know, small business. I'm talking like a big nursery here are selling these like big plants for cheap. So again, it's hard. It's really, really hard. I think that, you know, some areas it's way easier to get rid of plants than other areas. And unfortunately, I'm just in an area where it's so saturated. There's so many of us out here. We all are collecting plants from everywhere. So many people import in Vancouver, and so even if you have a plant you think that's going to be like highly sought after, like you go to sell it or even give it away and it's crickets, and it's pretty depressing sometimes, not gonna lie. I often feel like our local plant community is a little bit dead, but we're out here. We out here. Oh, my back hurts. Anyway, those are the 4 plants. That's it. I do still have philodendron in my collection. I was going to do like a whole video on my entire philodendron collection, but honestly, I might actually just do it in this video because philodendron videos get 0 views, not 0. People don't want philodendron videos these days. So I might mix it into this video and just show you who's left. I still have quite a few. Just from what I can see, I have patriciae, SP Columbia, spiritus sancti, gloriosum. Who else? Dean McDowell, and that's it. Got my big old tortum in the living room. I still have philodendron in the house. I will always have philodendron in this house, but I think I just have to be very selective about which philodendron I'm choosing to grow just because of the maintenance. The EFN, if you don't keep those leaves clean, you have burns in the leaves. The pests, there's so many pests. They love philodendron because of how leafy they are. Pole maintenance. I just feel like if I can narrow it down to like 5 plants that need poles, okay, 8. If I can narrow it down to 8 plants that need poles, I should be good in terms of being able to maintain those. But anything over 8, I just think it's too much. Yeah. That's the first part of this video. I do have another video that I need to film by today, so that is going to be it for this part. I'm not quite sure what we're doing tomorrow, but I guess you'll find out. Oh, hey, I'm back. I lied. I'm not done for today. I was getting a little bit burnt out on that repot and chat I just filmed, so I like cut the questions short, but I still have some more stuff to repot, and I just want to do it now since I'm all set up here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that together. Let me show you the first thing, and I don't really have gloves to handle this, but y'all, we had an earthquake here in Vancouver. It was crazy. It was a 5.1 magnitude earthquake, and I had never consciously experienced anything like that. And I say consciously because the big 1989 earthquake happened when I was 2 days old, and I almost died. Fun fact, I almost died in that earthquake. And my dad saved me in the nick of time, which is crazy. I always feel like I escaped death. When I watched the Final Destination movie for the first time, I was like, oh no, it's gonna come, it's gonna get me. But yeah, I, consciously, I don't remember it. I was 2 days old. But yeah, it was weird. So I was doing laundry, and when my laundry room is here in my plant room, and when my neighbor, if you're watching, he loves to slam the door. Oh, he loves to slam that front door, and it is loud and it is forceful and it shakes everything in here. When they slam their front door, all you hear is glass. It just like shakes. And so I was doing laundry and I heard everything clanking, and I was like, oh, that guy, man, that guy is really like pushing my buttons. And then it stopped, and then the laundry door started going like this, and I was like, what the heck? And so then I looked into my plant room. All the leaves were shaking like this, and my exo was like wobbling. It was so scary. So then I ran to Archie, picked up Archie. Vince ran to me, and we just stood in our living room and we were just watching everything shake. Our big mirror almost fell down. Our frames in the bedroom fell down, took down 2 plants. I'll throw in the aftermath. It wasn't like a little like, oh, do I see it shaking? It was shaking. Like, I was so sure the TVs were gonna fall over. And I don't know if it feels stronger because like I'm in a higher building, like you feel it more when you're higher up. Is that how science works? I don't know. But yeah, either way, I had some casualties. So Alice got me this tephro for my birthday, and the gag is that tephro grow so incredibly slow. One of my friends says that she's had her tephro cactus for years and years, and she's had one new growth. So within like, I want to say a month of bringing this home, I got a new little guy on it right here. I don't want to touch it because you know what? Maybe I'll use chopsticks. Let me go get chopsticks. Yeah, I got new growth on it within like a month. Oh, it's in here. Within a month of it coming home. And I was like, yay, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna turn into this like big old ball. And then it broke off. Oh my gosh. I was like, of all the plants. And the other gag is the other plant that suffered a casualty was my Euphorbia balsamifera. And it was so funny when I posted it in my Instagram. Someone was like, not that plant. Like, that poor plant has been through so much. And it's crazy how much you guys remember. Like, that Euphorbia has been through it all. And the last time that I repotted it on camera, I was like, no more repots. We're gonna keep it here. It's gonna grow nice and big. It's gonna be super healthy. And it was growing new leaves. It was looking really perky and nice. And then it just came toppling over, broke off all the roots. So now I am starting over again. But you know, that plant has been so resilient that I don't think it's gonna skip a beat. Honestly, it'll probably drop all of its leaves, but it just does that. So I'm not super worried. But I am gonna repot this. I think I'm gonna actually put it in this vase because there are like no roots. It's in this really, really cute pot that I got from Alice. And I think I want to get a new cactus or get like a new euphorbia or something and pot it in this. I am obsessed with this pot. I love this pot so much. It's adorable. It's the perfect color, the perfect shape. Love it. So I just think that this size is going to be a little bit better for it. Now I just need a scoop. Oh man, this poor little thing. And I think maybe I'll put, oh, but you know what? I wanted to put this one next to it. Whoa. But I don't think, I mean, I could have it on one side. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and pot them together. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we will see. I really need to get cactus gloves again. Haven't had gloves for a long time. And then I'm gonna try and squish this one right next to it. I don't think this is gonna be the best potting situation, but I can always move it into something a little bit bigger. Well, if I need to. And then I think I might actually try a little bit of rooting hormone on this little bowl. I don't know if that's gonna do anything, but it's worth a shot. It's been calloused now for a couple days because this earthquake was 2 days ago. Ow! Oh my gosh, I have so many pricks in my skin. I have no idea when this happened.
Move it into something a little bit bigger.
Like, I don't even remember touching it, but it was like all in my fingers, and I can still kind of feel some. This is why I've gotten rid of so many cacti. I hate being pricked. It's so painful. Why is it the most painful thing ever? So I like to do like tape. You don't want to like push it in further though. You just want to like lay it on there so that you can kind of like rip it out. I'm pretty sure I got everything, but I can kind of still feel stuff in my index finger. But yeah, this method has been really, really helpful for me when I've touched really like fine needle cacti, the ones that have like the furs on them. And then I had some in my thumb too. Okay, hopefully I got it all. I don't know, I really don't know when I, like, oh, there's another one. What the heck? Okay, I want to get this cactus done and over with because it has emotionally scarred me a little bit. I'm just gonna stick this guy in there and just truly hope for the best. I did obviously dip it in a bit of rooting hormone. I don't know if that works for cacti. Where's my little tiny spoon? Oh no. Doesn't look as cute as it did pre-fall, but we love a good comeback story, right? Well, that is the sitch. That's the situation on this day. You know, that's the second time that's happened today. I'm not really here for it. Not really, babes, not really. The next thing that I need to do is something that I am honestly dreading, but this is a call. If you have a shop in Canada or the States, I am offering these seedlings in bulk. I was gonna keep them all, but I just don't have the room, and now that my new seed batch is germinating, I'm like, something's gotta go. So I have decided I'm gonna keep a few. I'm gonna pick out ones that I think are gonna have really cool traits and grow those out, and then the rest can be sold wholesale. So this is my batch of Brielle Forgetii. I will throw in mom and dad, or I'll throw in the infographic here. I think it's a good cross. It's not like the most desirable, no, but I love the Brielle and I love the Forgetii. So I don't know, we'll see. I wanted to hold on to it because I'm like, what if we get a really cute one? I'm gonna move you closer. There were some that looked like pretty promising. I want to keep like a variety. Like I want one that maybe looks really veiny or like really bright. Maybe one that's rounder, one that's more minimal in veining, just so that I have like the best kind of, or the best chance at getting really different looking plants. I don't even know where to start, honestly. There was one in here that looked like it could be variegated, but I don't know where that is now. So I'm just gonna start by removing the ones that are not showing really any features just yet, like this really little one. I feel like it's kind of dark. Oh, there. Sorry. So yeah, I'll like remove these ones really quickly. Okay, so this was actually a pretty strong seed batch. I had at this point already thrown out the ones that I believed were runts. Some of these are smaller than some of them, but I wouldn't really consider any of them like runts. I have chosen a few that I think I want to keep, but this still seems like way too many. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15. Okay, I definitely know I would love one that is super silver. So I'm looking at, I think I pulled out 4 that looked like they could be really silvery. Okay, so here's seedling 1. Oh my gosh, my cleavage. Sorry. Here is seedling 1, has a more elongated leaf. Here's seedling 2. They don't look super similar in terms of shape. Like one is longer and one is rounder. Here's seedling 3. This one, it was like pretty bright. And then there's this one, which I'm not really sure. I think I might chance this one and put it in the batch I sell, but it has like a really prominent center vein, which is really nice, but so do some of these too. So I don't know if that's gonna be actually a feature that stays. This one looks pretty silvery too, actually. I think these 2 I chose. There should be a 3rd one that has like a prominent center vein, this one. I just want to get like a good, I want to get a good variety, you know? So, oh, this one had a prominent center vein as well, but not as... But which one is the one that I thought was variegated? Hold on, let's put all of these together. The one I thought was variegated was actually really small. This one, it's really hard to tell, but it kind of looks like it has a little bit of like green on green variegation. Not much though, but I'm trying to find the one that might have been variegated. It's so unvariegated that I can't even find it, but I did set it aside. I think it's this one. It has like little splooches of silver, but it's probably, honestly, it's probably nothing, but I'm gonna just keep it anyway. I want to keep one that has minimal veining. So there's 1, 2, 3. This one I kept because it's really round, so I do want to keep that one. So these ones were the dark, like the ones that had very minimal veins, and I'm just curious to see like what that would look like. So I think I'll keep those around, but I think I need to choose. Like, I don't think I should keep all of these. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, I'll get rid of this one. You know, it's like, it's such a gamble. Again, it's not like a wild cross, but just could be a really, really pretty plant. So I think I'm okay with this. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 10 would have been my happy number, but can't win them all. Okay, so I'm good with these. I kind of want to try growing these in pon. I'm growing not a lot. I'm growing all of my seedlings in soil, but I just want to give, I don't know, I want to give pon a try. I have enough of it that I can experiment, and then I can put it all in like one little communal thing. Maybe this guy here, I have some leftover narrow pallies that I'm holding on to, not to sell, but just in case, I don't know, just in case, like, what if like some people that bought the narrow pallies, like it just ends up being like so unnarrow and then they want like a replacement. I don't know. I just want to hold on to them. I've got about, I want to say 15 left. 2 of them are runty though, so I'm probably going to chuck those. Okay, I think I can fit 12 in here actually, like perfectly. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, that's 12. Okay, cool. I love when that happens. I'm just gonna fill these pots. I am so hungry. I have not eaten today. I'm starving. It's 3 o'clock already. I'm hoping that with the use of pon, I won't have as many fungus gnats. But oh my gosh, I made a grave mistake and I showed it on camera. I originally had these in one bin together, all potted in soil. Like I put soil in the bin. I didn't put them in pots. I put them in soil, or I put them in the bin. I think that's where the fungus gnats were breeding. I'm not even joking. I think they were all coming out of there. Never again. Never again. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way, which sucks, but life is about lessons. Okay? What is life if you're not learning a lesson? Also, I don't know if it's gonna happen. We're still working out a few things. We're waiting on an answer from our landlord. I doubt it's gonna happen, but we might move, maybe. And if that's the case, I am going to sell everything that you see here, which would be very bittersweet. Not the plants, of course. Well, some of the plants probably, but like the equipment and everything, all the shelves, all the exos, my Mills bow or my rudsta. But yeah, I would completely start over and just do something like a totally different concept for the plant room. But the idea of like getting rid of everything is just so daunting. I'm like, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of work. But I guess if we're moving anyway, we'd have to do it. But also, moving is so stressful, but now thinking about moving with a baby, I'm like, oh my God. But you know, you do what you gotta do. I'm hoping that in the next 5 years we're ready to buy. And even if we are ready to buy, if the economy is not better by then, I'm not saying fixed, but better, and interest rates aren't better, like I just don't want to pay. I don't want to pay premium for a house just because the economy is messed up. Like, I'd rather wait and keep renting and just hope that it gets better and pay less for a house, you know, or a townhouse. We're aiming for a townhouse for our first place here. But it's just the prices right now they're just wild. I'm like, even if we had all of the money that we needed for our budget, I would not buy right now. I just wouldn't. Like, oh, you don't want to spend $900,000 on a 2-bedroom condo, 700 square feet? No thanks, I'm good. I'll just keep renting respectfully. It's actually so much easier potting these in pond than soil. So much easier. If this works out, this might be my new thing. I want to pot more things in pond, and I think as some of my anthurium get bigger, I might transition them back to pond. Still with drainage holes, I'll have to figure out like the catch pot situation. But I miss having plants in pond, and when I had a lot of plants in pond in Leca, I did not have the same fungus gnat issues. But I also think I have like a good system now for kind of handling the fungus gnat thing. I was thinking of doing a whole video on like how I treated for fungus gnats, but I want to wait until they're actually gone and stay gone for a long time before I start like, you know, doing a how-to video. But it's just, yeah, it's a lot of work. And as you can maybe see behind me, I'm in yellow sticky trap city. There is a yellow sticky trap in every corner of this house. I'm not messing around anymore. I've just about had it. I'm at my absolute wit's end. I don't really know what I'm gonna pot all of these in. I'm not doing individual pots. For whoever's buying it, I would like to ship it in a communal pot, and then whoever is selling it can pot each of them individually. But first off, I don't have enough pots for that, and it would just be way too hard to ship. But I'd like to ship them while they're still this small, because it just gets more difficult, you know? I'm wondering if I can do pond for the communal pot, but then pond isn't like the best substrate to ship plants in. I would much prefer to ship in something like moss or soil, or even leca probably. I don't know. But all I know is I've got a ton of pond right now and not a ton of soil. And I don't want to ship these plants to anyone with fungus gnats. That would be so embarrassing. So incredibly embarrassing. But I just feel like a majority of plant shops would prefer it in soil and not have to worry about transitioning from something like leca or pond into soil. So I could also do tree fern fiber, like tree fern fiber and perlite. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Okay, I'm gonna just water this. Where did my watering can go? Hello, hi. Is it just in plain sight? Like I'm just not. It was hanging here, and now it's not. Oh, it's right here. I'm just gonna do soil and perlite. Keep it simple. I'm not even putting tree fern in this puppy. I don't even have bark right now. I'm down bad. The bark is actually at Alice's house, but I'm not gonna see her for a while. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so I've decided that I'm actually gonna split them up into 3 pots so that they don't have to buy all of them if they don't want, but I'm gonna have to count and see how many I have. So hold on 1 second. I have 46, but I'm gonna do 15 in each. One person is gonna get 1 extra. I don't know who it's gonna be, but it'll all be the same price. I am going to jump right into what we're doing today because I only have about 20 or 30 minutes to film before Vince has to leave, meaning I will be alone with a screaming child. So today, like I said, I'm just going to be showing you guys the rest of my philodendron in my collection. I won't be able to show you them all today because I still have quite a few. I will always be a philodendron girly at heart, but I have had to get rid of a lot just because they are super high maintenance in my opinion. Also, the audio might sound a little bit different today because my mic died. So anyway, I'm gonna just try and get through the ones that are in my plant room at least. So I'm gonna start with the one that is right in front of me. And that is my philodendron billietiae, variegated. I got this one from my friend Amanda, and it originally just was green. The bottom leaf was like a half moon leaf, but then all the new leaves that came out of it were green. She sent me basically the rest of her plant, and the little node that she kept is now fully green. It does this thing where it puts out like a really low variegated leaf, and then it'll do one with like higher variegation, and then it'll put out green. Sometimes it'll spit out 2 green leaves in a row. So this one is kind of just like keeping me on my toes, and I don't like it. I don't. It's not the kind of challenge that I'm really into in this hobby. I would prefer something a little bit more stable, but I do love this plant a lot, so obviously I'm not going to be getting rid of it. But this is what it looks like now. Hasn't really grown that much. It's definitely a much slower grower than my other billy. My other billy was absolutely out of control, could not be stopped. Even in low light, it was still pushing out leaves like crazy, whereas this one is a little bit more modest. Gives me a new leaf like, I don't know, every 2 months. But yeah, this is the newest one, and unfortunately it is all green. I'm not going to be chopping back right yet. I'll probably, like, if it gives me like 2 more green leaves, then I'll cut back, but feeling somewhat okay because these last 3 have been variegated. I did chop off one leaf because it was green. So anyway, this is the first one. I'm just gonna keep this ladder here. So the next one, is it really dark? Where is my... Archie's crying. Okay, so the next one is gonna be my philodendron spiritus sancti. I got this one from Bros with Hose. Was it last year or 2023? It was either 2023 or 2024. I got it as like a really small plant. Like you can see how little this leaf is. I did have another spiritus before this one, but that one just grew so poorly. Like, I know that it takes a while to kind of size up and get spiritus looking leaves. Like, I'm not even really there yet. But that one, it was like mangled leaves, or it would just like die in the cataphyll. I don't know if it was like the batch of tissue culture that I got, but it was just not, it's just not it. So I got rid of that one, kept this one. So grateful to Bros with Hose for sending me this one, and it's been growing a lot better. So you can see it's kind of starting to form its lobes now. It's getting a little bit of size. I originally said that I wasn't going to be growing this on a pole, but then freaking Tyler, oh my gosh, Tyler posted, hopefully I can find the picture because I think it was on his story. Tyler posted this dang picture of his spiritus on his moss poles, and it's so big and beautiful where I'm like, I think that I'm gonna need to. I don't know if I'm gonna be one of the lucky ones that have been able to grow it, like not a pendant, but like a hanging basket. That was my original hope, because I would love to have this plant suspended from the ceiling or have it like on a tall shelf and have those leaves kind of not cascade down, but you know, like I had this vision for it, and I'm gonna still try. I don't think I'm going to get it on a pole just yet because it is sizing up without a pole right now. I am so on edge from that earthquake we just had. Any kind of shaking, I'm like,
Stop, drop, and roll.
Which, that was my first instinct, and you don't do that during an earthquake. That's if you're on fire. So anyway, yeah, this is what she's looking like now. Lots of EFN on this plant. It's such an EFN heavy plant. Luckily, it's more so on the petioles rather than the leaves itself, which is great because I do find that when it's on the leaves, it kind of burns through. like that. So I've been trying to be a little bit better about wiping this thing down, but truth be told, it's always been so high up that I just kind of forget about it. But I really am so excited to watch this one grow up. I love the spiritus. I don't know what it is about it. I really, like, I tried to think, was it like the allure of how expensive and rare it was back then? Like, only the most exclusive collectors had it at the time, and they were going for like the thousands and thousands. I'm like, am I subconsciously telling myself that I love this plant because of that? But no, I just really do find this plant to be so cool. I've always loved the really long philodendron leaves. Some examples are like the philodendron heterocraspidon, the patriciae, the Davidsonii, the Maximus. What am I thinking of that? Or no, Davidsonii? Did I just say that? I really like the really long skinny ones, and I feel like the spiritus is kind of like the top tier of that genre of philodendron. So yeah, hopefully this year I get some good growth on it. It is living right now just in ambient. It's living on my grid wall right underneath my vallechi light, and it's growing like a dream. So keep sending good vibes over here, because I would love to see like a full-size spiritus leaf by the end of the year. I really did not want to take this down from where it was, because this leaf is still hardening off and it actually is looking pretty great right now. Some of you guys will know that I found like a full-blown thrips outbreak on this a little while ago, and I have just been treating it non-stop, and it's been okay. I have not seen any thrips on it since then. Honestly, I don't think that thrips are as bad as spider mites. I really don't. I just find that they're a lot easier to get rid of, even considering the nature of them, how they like lay eggs in the soft tissue of the plant. It just isn't that bad. Like, it's not as bad as spider mites. I almost feel like with spider mites, they come back almost the next day, but I don't see a single pest on this plant right now, which thank you plant gods. But my patriciae is growing really well lately. It's finally looking like an actual patriciae, nice and ripply, nice and ribby, ruched, all the R words, and I just really love it. It's such a dream to have. It is on a pole, a really tiny pole. I don't know if it's doing anything, honestly. It's not even rooted into this thing. I don't see any roots in this pole. So yeah, it's kind of just for support at this point, and it seems to be okay. It's sized up without being rooted into a pole. But ideally, I would love to have it rooted into a pole, because it's already on a pretty big, it's already in a pretty big pot, and I don't want to have to upsize it anymore. So the next option would be to go vertical. I think eventually the plan will be to get it on a Russo pole, because I find those to be way more effective than these sort of honeycomb style poles. But yeah, definitely not doing anything until this new leaf is hardened off. I was gonna put off this part of the video solely so that I did not have to touch this leaf. I was just scared that I was gonna damage it by taking it down. But yeah, it's still really floppy. It's got a ways to go. My guess is that it's probably gonna harden off maybe this large. I find that patriciaes, when they're like fully expanded but still soft, it gets a lot more length than you would think. Like when this leaf came out, it was probably like this size when it was at this stage of hardening off, and then it just added like an extra 2 or 3 inches. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what this one looks like. Everything is shaking. My heart's beating so fast. I'm happy that when I found thrips that I didn't go like full manic and just chop off all the leaves. Yes, you can see some thrips damage on it and it's not great, but I'm just, I just think that it's so much nicer with more leaves, and I can't wait until this one's fully hardened off and you can see all of the ripples, because you don't see how You don't see all of like the ribbing on it until it's fully hardened off. It's a little bit unsuspecting when it's still this like bronzy color, but yeah, Patty has been in her glow up era. Please do not damage this leaf, Sherman, or you are canceled 2025. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit this plant in the frame, but of course I still have my Philodendron Dean McDowell. The leaves are getting huge. This is just one of 2 Deans that I have. My other Dean is behind me here. The leaves were even bigger than this one, but it had really bad spider mites, so I just chopped off all the leaves. I'm panting so hard. I do no kind of workout these days, but yeah, leaves are looking really nice and pillowy. This is the new one. Got a little dinged up because it was growing up against the wall. I don't know why it's facing the wall when all the lights are in the front, but look how beautiful she is. I love this philodendron. It is such a hard philodendron to keep happy and healthy indoors, in my opinion, just because of how pest prone it is. Spider mites love this plant. It just does. I'm just gonna put it right here because it is super heavy. This plant is super pest prone. I have struggled more with spider mites on this plant than thrips, but it requires like constant wash downs. I just washed this down 2 weeks ago, and I've been using Azamax and Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew, and just like switching off between that and Azamax. And I'm also using high yield spreader sticker, which makes the pesticides like stick onto the plant better or something. I don't know, it does something, but it seems to be doing the trick because I'm not seeing any webbing or anything, which just never happens. It just never happens. This plant always has spider mites. This is like one of my first real true loves in the philodendron genus. It was like love at first sight when I first saw it, and my sister has always loved the Posizanum. She got her first Posizanum I think in 2018, and she loved it so much. And I mean, I appreciated it and I really liked it, but I didn't love it as much as she did. But when this plant came into my life, I think I understood the obsession that she had with her pasta. And I think the reason that I like this one more than the pasta is because the venation is a little bit brighter than a pasta. It's like a really whitish green, like lime green color. So it just makes it look a little bit like deeper. The venation goes all the way to the edge of the leaf margin, giving it that really pillowy look. And I just love like when it gets really big, the lobes just like overlap and it just looks like a big lily pad. And it's just, I just love it. I just love it. But I understand why a lot of people don't and can't grow crawling plants that get really big like this in their spaces. It takes up a lot of room, especially if you're not the type of person that's willing to just chop leaves off. I constantly chop this back. I usually don't allow more than like 5 leaves to be on this plant at one time. But now that it's living up here, I think 4 is my max. So once the new leaf comes out, or once another leaf comes out, I'm probably gonna chop off the 2 oldest leaves. And it sucks because I love the look of like a big, massive, like just wall of Dean, which is why I hoarded so many at one point. But it wasn't realistic because of how much pests it had, and it was spreading everywhere, and I just can't, I don't have the time anymore to be taking these to the bathroom all the time. And so I think I'm good with this. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be keeping my second Dean. I'm gonna have to think about it, but yeah, this is her, and she's doing really good. So if you have been looking for a sign to get a Dean, please let this be it. Okay, if you watched my vlog, I did a parenthood, motherhood Q&A on my vlog channel, but it was a repot and chat. I will link that in the description. But if you did watch that video, then you would have seen me repot my Philodendron podioides. What does that sound? My philodendron podioides. I chopped it. I chopped off like a little piece at the bottom. Well, it wasn't a little piece, it was kind of a big piece. There were like 4 leaves at the bottom. I chopped these. So I'm just propagating them, and I'll either sell them or give them to family or friends. I moved it into leca because it was growing purely in perlite, and I even got leca all the way up here, and I'm just gonna see what happens. It doesn't have a ton of roots on it, and I'm hoping that it's not hard to root these, but yeah, this is what it looks like right now. It's not really much at this point, but I kind of like it. I like it when it's really small. I've seen pictures of really, really large polys, and kind of like the tortum, it loses a little bit of that whimsical creepiness about it, if that makes any sense. Like the leaves get a lot thicker, and it just, I don't know, it's not as like wispy anymore. So I really like the wispiness of it at this maturity, but I would love to have it be a little bit bigger in terms of the actual leaves. My tortum is a good example in terms of like the leaf size that I'm looking for, but I really don't even think I'm gonna have an issue. I keep saying like, oh, I don't like when the tortum gets too big, I don't like when the poly gets too big, but I doubt that I'm even gonna be able to grow it to that maturity level anyway, so I'm probably good. But I do love this plant. I bought this from Jing, and this has been on my wish list for a very, very long time, and I'm actually surprised it took so long to get it, considering it's kind of been popping up here and there. I think I like this so much because it scratches that itch of having like the Florida green, which I was obsessed with before, but it's more tortum like, you know, like the leaves are just, they're just way skinnier and like, wispy is the word, I think. And even in the really young leaves, you can't even see like the leaves because they're so thin. Even in the really juvenile leaves, they look so cool. I'll show you this one. Like, look at how cool that looks. I love it. And this one, it's so neat. I enjoy this philodendron a lot. Definitely not for everyone. It's not everyone's flavor, but it most certainly scratches a lot of the boxes that I have in terms of what I look for in a philodendron. So yeah, hopefully I get some roots on this, because I would be really sad if I just sabotage this whole thing. I do have those 2 props, but I do think growing from a stem, like a mid cut or a bottom cut, is going to take me a while to get back to the size I'm at. So fingers crossed. Okay, I think this is the second to last one that's in my plant room. And then tomorrow we will continue on in the living room, because I think I have a few out there. So this one, I think a lot of people are still surprised that I think some people are surprised that I've still invested myself into this plant. So this is originally was Philodendron SP Columbia, and then they said it was a Philodendron SP Silver, and now it's the Philodendron El Guapo. I don't know what the actual idea is, but I do really, really like this plant. It looks very similar to the Philodendron, is it the Philodendron Rubrosynctum Platinum? I had that plant before this one, but I think the reason this one gets me more than that one is because the emergent leaves are so glossy and shimmery and magical. I'm gonna throw in a picture that I took of this when it was still a super emergent, like brand new leaf. And it just has this like sheen about it that is so unique and so special, and I just really, really love it. And I just love the subtleness of the venation, but I love how deep it sinks in. When this plant is really big, bushy, and the leaves are like giant, it is beautiful. It is so beautiful, but I am not the type that can grow many leaves at once. I find this I know. I find this one to be one of those philodendron where when a new leaf grows, the oldest leaf kind of starts to yellow. But not only that, again, another very pest-prone plant. Very pest-prone plant. Not as much as something like the Dean McDowell. I don't know if it's just been my luck, but I used to have like 3 or 4 more SP Columbias, because there's like not maybe like registered different forms, but there are a few different kinds that you'll find, and I had pretty much all of them. But it's now dwindled down to just this one because they all succumbed to some kind of pest. So this is the last one that I have left. I am trying my hardest. I'm trying my hardest to grow this thing, but I just can't keep the spider mites at bay. But I really, really enjoy this leaf. Oh, I actually have, sorry, I just remembered another philodendron that I had, but I'm like, wait, where did I put it? Oh, found it. Speaking of crawling leafy philodendrons, this is my, I have another philodendron gloriosum. So this is the philodendron gloriosum that I called the Angry Alice. No, that's not the actual name. The history of it, blah, 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 blah. She found this plant. I named it after her, and the rest is history. So yeah, it's just got like the meanest look. I have thrown in like pictures of her original plant before, but I just have never been able to rid myself of this one because I love it so much. But again, like a lot of my big leafy philodendron, the spider mites and the EFN, it just gets to it. And it's so hard. It's so hard to pot these crawlers. One challenge that I think everyone in this community has is the space for the crawlers. I think in theory, a lot of us would love to have these big pillowy philodendron in the house, but the truth is we don't have the space to house all of these horizontal planters, which is why I try to get away with these like wider like circle pots, but it outgrows it so fast. I feel like I just got this into this pot not too long ago, and we're already in some trouble. So this one's gonna have to be repotted soon, but do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. And it's been hard to kind of size up some of my philodendron or some of my gloriosum because, again, of the nature of the crawling and not having the right pots for it. I do often have to chop down the rhizome quite a bit, and then it sort of sets the new leaf back, reverts back to like a really, really small size. And then I'm just kind of left with a really tiny plant like this. But these days, I'm not looking to grow the biggest philodendron leaves ever because I don't have the space. But it's just nice to have them in the house. It's nice to have them around. I will always have like a really soft spot for the philodendron gloriosum, and this is one of my favorite forms. So if you've ever bought one of these cuttings from me, just know that if it's not already starting to size up a lot, you're really gonna love this form of gloriosum. Okay, I think this is the last philodendron that I have in here. There's not much to show on this right now. I just repotted it. It was rehabbing for so long. But my philodendron plowmanii, I really, really like this philodendron. I have tried a lot of times growing this one, but this is the first time that I've actually had this form that I really like. There are a few different kind of philodendron plowmanii. One, I don't know what the actual name is if it's like philodendron plowmanii dark or black or something, but it just has like a much rounder leaf, and then the venation like is really, really dark and sunken in like this, and it goes all the way to the edge, giving it that really sort of pillowy look again. This is the one that I've been looking for a long time, and the ones that I had before just weren't really doing it for me. I have been trying really hard to grow this one, but I don't know, I just haven't really had a lot of luck with it. I've tried no drainage, with drainage, I've tried tree fern fiber, I've tried perlite. pond. It was just in pond and I moved it to soil, but this is the first time that I've actually put it in a crawling pot, and I'm hoping that it does a lot better. An issue that I've also had with this plant is pests. I think that's like a common or like a running theme with growing philodendron, is that they require so much like maintenance in terms of keeping the leaves clean because they're such pest magnets. It's been easier caring for them now that my philodendron collection has been significantly like, you know, shaved down. But I think if I had any more philodendron than I do now, I would definitely get behind again on pest treating. But yeah, she's in like the single leaf club right now just because, you know, things. But look how like shiny and delicious this is, and the sinus, it's so good. There's just something about philodendron that anthurium won't ever be able to scratch for me, and I just really hope I don't lose the will to care for them. No, I'm not the best at growing them, but I try. I really try. And so if I could have like a nice big philodendron plowmanii leaf, I would be so happy. And I think that with this new setup that I'm gonna have in the plant room, I think I'll be able to house more plants with crawling pots. And I'm hoping that with the new setup, I'm able to have larger leaves all live in the same area. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited for the new setup, but I am dreading gutting this. I'm dreading telling my husband that I'm redoing the plant room. And overall, I know it's gonna be a process, but I think it'll be worth it. Anyway, guys, I think that is all of the philodendron in here. The only other philodendron that I have is my sodirini, which you can see in the background. She lives on. I was trying to get rid of it. I was trying to sell it, but I was having regrets. So she's living here. We're gonna see. I'm gonna give it another shot. I will try and get it on a Russo pole and see if I have more luck. But yeah, she has slipped through the cracks again. Anyway, guys, I know today was a little bit short, but tomorrow I will continue on with the rest of the philodendron out in the living room. And then I think we're gonna do a little bit of shifting in here because I actually did sell this exo. So I need to gut everything in here and I wanna give it a little bit of a clean. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Good morning, friends. I was not supposed to film this early. I was gonna film tonight, but the sun is out and the sun has not been out in so long. And so I was like, why don't I just try and show you the philodendron out here while the sun is out? I got ready so fast. I look like a hot mess, but we're just gonna get started before Archie starts screaming because we have like a very specific morning routine and he's gonna be like, what is going on? I'm trying to find the best spot because if I go here, I get blinded. Maybe here? All of Archie's toys are everywhere. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's not. Okay, this is probably the best that I can do. So let's just go before the sun goes away. I'm actually so happy to be showing you guys this one today because I haven't really featured or shown my micans. Oh, this light. The light looks terrible on me, but great on the plants. My micans has not really been shown on this channel since this video, where it got really bad spider mites. It even at one point had mealybugs. Not really bad, not mealybugs, mealybugs? Yeah, mealybugs, it had mealybugs. I just chopped it down, I repotted it, I shaved it down. It was all straggly and it looked terrible, but it honestly recovered really nicely. It took about a year. I wanna say it's been a year since that video went up, maybe a little bit less. It's grown so much. I chop this thing down all the time. Some of you guys may have watched my philodendron micans care video, and I tell you guys that I probably chop this thing at least once a month. So if I didn't chop it, it would be way longer by now. My goal for this plant is for it to be bushy, not just super long. I want it to grow in really nicely. And yeah, like it's just, it's kind of grown back up to what it, no, I wouldn't say what it used to be. It used to look like this, but just like 2 feet longer, but we'll get there. It's a very, very slow and steady process, but I can guarantee you guys, while I am living and breathing on this earth, I will always have a micans. I can't imagine my house without one. It just kind of completes the collection. It's a nice change from the other, you know, kind of plants that I have, and I just love this plant so much. So I'm so happy that it's doing well. It is still in, whoa, it's still in a glass vessel. I swear by growing the micans in no drainage. I don't care what anyone says. This thing dries up so fast and I just can't keep up with the watering. So no drainage has always been my go-to with the micans. But yeah, it's been growing in several different locations in the house. I find that it does well under lower light. If you put it like if you put it in a really sunny, bright location, you'll find that the leaves can turn like a reddish pink color. And while some people kind of like that look, to me, it always makes the micans look a little sickly. So lower light is definitely recommended for this, but yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna stand back here. Talking about micans, I don't think I told you guys this, or maybe I did, but I had another micans, not my original one. I got a second one, and I gave that one to my sister because she bought a new house, and I had 2 full pots of micans, and I was like, I don't really need both. So yeah, I gave her one, and that one's actually doing really well. Maybe I can plug in a photo of it. Living its best life in California. So I'm sure it would much prefer being there over here. Oh, a little water droplet got on my forehead from this plant. It's guttating. Okay, so the next one is gonna be the second gloriosum that I have in my collection. This one is the Philodendron gloriosum zebra. I think this is the one that I got from, I want to say it was Equigenera. Okay, this light's not doing this plant justice. It was looking a little bit washed out, but yeah, this is the second gloriosum that I have. I honestly don't think with having the Angry Alice and then the zebra, I don't really see myself needing any other gloriosum. I know there's a few different types. I think the only other one that I would ever want to add to my collection is a variegated one, but it would have to be like a very specific kind of variegation. I've seen a ton of different variegated gloriosum, and some of them don't look as nice. So it would have to be like very, very sectoral, I think. Even the kind of speckly ones are nice too, but again, I would have to be very selective about it. But I'm happy with these 2. This one has been kind of struggling. It's always had spider mites. At one point, this was my biggest gloriosum. The leaves were like humongous. They were body sized. And then I went to California, came back, full on spider mite outbreak. It was one of the worst spider mite outbreaks I've ever seen. And I just had to chop it back. It took a while to kind of size back up. And that was a long time ago. So it's just now kind of starting to find its shape and form again. Ugh. It doesn't really have a lot of that secondary venation that I love in the zebra. I'm gonna throw in a photo of what it looked like kind of at its peak and like what I really, really loved this plant for. But I've found that I haven't been able to get those kinds of leaves unless this was right next to a really strong grow light or right by the window. But when it was growing right by the window, that's when it had like the most spider mites. I don't know if there's any correlation. I'm sure there is, but this one's just living on my shelf right now. It was also living in my plant room, and it just hasn't really given me a lot of that secondary like fine venation that makes it look really bright. But hopefully this summer we can get some nice leaves. But yeah, this is her now. She is living in a Muji planter. For some people who have wondered about this plant, it's not a planter. It's actually, I think it's called a polypropylene filing box, and it's from Muji, and it comes in a few different sizes. They have wider ones, they have taller ones. This is kind of my go-to size though. Growing in pond, a little bit of leca down at the bottom, and it is doing just fine for now. And I have been so diligent about doing spider mite treatments on this, and this is the longest I've seen it go without spider mites, and it just grows so much better when it doesn't have mites. It's just so nice to see leaves that don't have like that dusty look about it, you know? So I'm loving on her right now. And of course, it would not be a philodendron feature if I didn't feature my best girl, the philodendron tortum. I'm not sure if this light or this area is doing this plant justice, but she is big, she is large and in charge, and has been growing honestly just fine in ambient. It hasn't really struggled at all. I have been trying to be really diligent about doing but like showers for this pretty regularly, especially when a new leaf is coming out, which is right now. Hello, can you focus? The furled up leaves look insane. But in ambient, I find that the tip of it has a very hard time unfurling completely. So anytime I see a new leaf in this stage, I either will spray it every day or just give it a nice shower to kind of loosen things up a little bit. But other than that, it's been really good. The internodes are getting quite long, and I do think it's because it's quite a ways from a window. It doesn't have a grow light on top of it, but we're just gonna go with it. I think if worse comes to worse and it gets a little too tall, I'm gonna have to probably chop the top off, but we will get to that. We will cross that bridge when we get there. I don't even want to think about chopping this plant. This is one of the plants where I was like, I will let myself be stressed out about where I'm gonna put it just to not chop it. But yeah, we'll see. I just feel like this is not the right spot. I wanna show you guys like the sheer size of this thing. It's pretty crazy. That's worse. I feel like this is worse. It's so hard to show you. I wish I was just in a completely white room with good lighting to show you the sheer size of it. It's crazy. Maybe I'll try and throw in some B-roll, not B-roll, but I'll put this down on my stairs and just show you guys what it looks like, because it's wild. My goal at this point is not to have any leaves really bigger than this. I like this leaf size. If it capped at this leaf size, I would be so happy, because it would be much easier for me to find somewhere to put it. And I love the look of it. Right now, I'm going for like the bushier look. I want to turn it into like a tree. And if I had leaves that were bigger than this, it would be really challenging. But you know, I do kind of see it slowly but surely sizing up. It's really rare that you find a plant where you just kind of want to keep it at a certain size. This is certainly one of them in my collection that I just wish that this was like the max size and it never got any bigger than this. But you know, I'm gonna let her do what she wants to do. She owns me. This plant owns me. But yeah, I know it's been a while since I've shown the tortum. I think it's because it's getting harder to move around now. But I did recently repot it into this massive pot. This is one of my biggest pots that I have, and I'm thinking she can probably live in this pot for, my goal is 2 to 3 years. If I don't have to repot it for 3 years, I would be so happy. If anything, I might just go vertical, like start chopping lower leaves and then doing like the Russo pot extender. I can plan all I want with this plant, but I think that she's always gonna surprise me. And yeah, anyway, that's the tortum. I'm gonna leave this here because I'm gonna take that video for you guys, and then I'm actually gonna throw this in the shower because it's got a little bit of EFN right now. I can see it's a little bit dusty on the leaves. There's like some fluff. Oh God, I hope that's not mealybug fluff. That would be so strange if I just randomly had mealybugs on this plant. I'm hoping that's just like dust, regular dust. You guys, my heart's racing right now. I hate mealybugs, I really do. They're just so yucky. They are the yuckiest pest. They're not like the most difficult to get rid of, but they just look gross. They look nasty. I really just think that it was some fluff, like lint. But I'm gonna give it a shower anyway. Okay, the next philodendron I'm gonna show you is this guy. I have been chopping this thing back what feels like every week because it grows so fast. Look how bulky it is down at the bottom. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because, you know, I do the thing where I regularly chop it, but like none of the top nodes are activating. It's all like these bottom nodes that are activating, and now I've got like these like bushy, like look at this one. It's got like 2 or 3 full like growth points on this one stem at the very bottom. Anywho, this is my philodendron hederaceum. Wait, philodendron hederaceum var oxycardium variegated. That one's a mouthful. That's what she said. It's been giving me some really, really nicely variegated leaves because I've given it a lot more light. It's living actually right next to an east-facing window now. It gets a decent amount of direct light every day. So yeah, I really like this, but I feel like I want to, I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted on the growth of it right now because it's a little, not straggly, but it's thinner up here and then it bulks up down here and it just looks a little weird. But at the same time, I don't really want to go and like, you know, where I do the thing where I wrap it around the pot because there is a bunch of growth happening up at the top, and I just trimmed this plant down by a lot. I cut off maybe a foot at the bottom. But I think in order to get it the way I want it to look, I think I need to chop like way up here, but I'm just not prepared to do that yet because I don't know, there is a lot of nice growth down here. I don't know, guys. I don't know what the plan is. This isn't like a plant that I'm just like, oh my God, I love this plant so much, but it's a nice sort of like filler plant. It's living on my shelf here in the kitchen and it just looks nice. It's a nice addition to the shelf. And so I just want to keep it around for that. But it's not a plant, honestly, that I feel like I am so in love with that I'll never not have. It's here for now. It's been pretty good for what it is. I'm not crazy about this variegation. It's not, I don't know. Honestly, I think the Marble Queen Pothos or Snow Queen, if that's even a thing, I think that variegation is much nicer than this one. But I like the way that the philodendron cascades over a pothos. You know how a pothos kind of like flips upward and like faces the side rather than like has the leaves face forward? That's one reason why I don't really have pothos in my house anymore. I don't like the way that it looks. Once it's like nice and bushy and trailing, it just doesn't have like I don't know, it just, yeah. I much prefer the philodendron. I actually think that is all of the pothos that pothos. I really need coffee. I think that's all the, I knew it was super bright. I think that's all of the philodendron that I have out here. My child is starting to scream now, so we're gonna get back to our morning routine, but I'm gonna catch up with you probably later in the afternoon. I need to water some plants here, give my tortum a shower. I might take my plants that have poles into the shower as well and get the poles nice and wet. But yeah, just a few things we have to do today. This is a very, very strange place to film, but I'm actually finding it difficult to film with the sun just directly with the river too. It's like a mirror. Anyway, guys, oh, you can't see anything. We are joined here today with my plant cart, And I haven't organized this thing in a long time, and I'm not gonna be organizing it today, like doing a full organization, but I did pick up a few things at the dollar store yesterday, which let me show you first. It was kind of a happy accident that I found this dollar store. It was like really unsuspecting from the outside. I did not think it was gonna be good. It was like a little family-owned dollar store. And if you're local, I will plug it in here because the people who work there are so nice. They have a really great selection of things. It's way bigger than you would normally think it is just from looking on the outside, and their prices are amazing. I picked up this surge protection power strip. So I almost bought like basically the same exact one on Amazon for $29.99. No, not $29, $19.99. This one was $7 at the dollar store. I needed this for my plant room. There's like one wall where there's just way too many plugs. So I grabbed that, and then I grabbed these little fly traps, which have worked so amazing for fungus gnats. They had like a version of this on Amazon again for like, I think it was like $15 for a pack of 2, whereas these packs of 4 were $1.99. So you cannot beat that. And let me show you what the other one that I picked up looks like. So you basically just like pull it out of that little tube, and like this like sticky thing comes out. Guys, look at all the fungus gnats that I got. There's a little bit of soil on it because I put it into a prop bin, but there are so many fungus gnats on this thing. It works amazing. There is a very light scent, and I don't know if it's scented to like attract them, but it works really, really great. I wanted to stock up just in case they ever stopped selling them. So I grabbed 2 packs. Honestly, I think every time I go back, I'm just gonna grab another pack just to have. And then I grabbed these little containers, like cups and lids for seeds when I sell them or like give them to friends. It's just really, it's convenient to be able to ship them. And then I grabbed another strainer. Guys, I swear by these strainers. I have a few. Let me show you my little collection. This is the current lineup. I have stuff in here because I'm gonna film something for a TikTok, but I use this in the sink basically when I'm like going to clean out vessels and I don't want things going into the sink. And then I have this one, which I use to sift out leca. And it's just a really great way to be able to separate leca from pon. And if you're new here and you're wondering why they're even mixed in the first place, one, I use leca down at the bottom of pretty much all of my pots with soil, with pon, with anything. And they eventually get mixed up. And then also when I'm cleaning out vessels, I literally just wash everything into here, and it eventually gets all mixed up because I'm washing multiple vessels at the same time. So this whole thing has made it so easy to separate them. I got this from the dollar store, but I've seen versions of this, not as large grid, but very, very similar at the dollar store. So give a dollar store a try, or a thrift store. And then this one, I think this is gonna be great for washing stuff like this. Like when I'm washing my leca, when I'm washing my pon, it's just a good size. The reason that I wanted to have a secondary strainer, it's not as fine as this one, but I don't think that anything is really gonna go through here. But the reason that I wanted to get this one is because in the sink, with the way that the legs are, it like wobbles in the sink, it like tips over sometimes. So this is gonna be a little bit more sturdy. I'm gonna give it a try probably this weekend and see how it works out. But if too much of the fine perlite falls through, then I'll probably just use it for leca. And then the last thing I got are these little storage organizers. And I was hoping to replace these ones that I'm using in my plant cart. This one is currently housing all of my hooks and like suction cup things. And then I have a second one that is housing like all of my Velcro, tape, rope, string, random stuff like that. So I just want to get it a little bit more organized. And these ones were $4 each at my local dollar store. This one was like $5.50 each, so it was a little bit cheaper at this other dollar store. This actually might have been $3 each now that I'm thinking about it, because there was a larger size that I was gonna get that I think was $4.50, but I didn't think that it would fit on my cart. So what I want to do is just get everything organized into these bins, and hopefully it's just a little bit easier to like find things. Now there are 2 other bins in my plant cart that I also want to eventually organize, but I need to find the right kind of storage container for it, because they're like, the things in there are much bigger. Okay, I think I'm gonna start with this box here. And while we're organizing, I was kind of thinking about something last night, because I got a comment, a very, very sweet, nice comment, that was saying how like my organization videos like have really helped them. And this is why I want to organize this, because it's a wreck. You know, they were saying how like my organization videos have helped like motivate them wanting to get organized, but like with her job and 2 kids, like she's a single mom, she's not able to kind of organize and clean as much as she wants to. And I know it wasn't her intention to make me feel bad, but I felt a little bit guilty, because like over the years I've just really pushed organization and like cleaning on this video, like get organized and make sure all your plant stuff is like in the right place, because it's so much easier to like manage this hobby when you're organized. But I didn't really consider, like, I guess I don't really have to give a PSA or whatever, but I guess what I would want people to remember is that this is my job. I get to stay home, film, and do things like this. Like, this is my job. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm getting paid to do this. I'm working. And so if you don't have the luxury of being able to like sit here and organize your damn hooks, don't feel bad, because if I had, you know, a job like where I had to leave and go to a job and then I had to come home and take care of my kid, there's no way I would be sitting here right now organizing these freaking hooks. So I just like want to remind people that like this isn't the standard at all. This isn't, I would say this is not even normal. It's just I have the luxury of doing this because this is what I've made into my career. And so yeah, I think what I would suggest really is, if you want to be organized and you want to like find a better way to organize the chaos and all the stuff that we have, I think it's better to kind of handle it one thing at a time. I think it's really easy for people to, especially like me, like I'm talking from experience, it's really easy to like get overwhelmed with the big picture and be like, well, I have to organize all my bins and I have to organize all my substrates, but like all my vessels are everywhere. And when you like think about all of the things that you have to do, like, yeah, it's gonna be super overwhelming. And do you guys ever get, I know people feel this, where you have so much to do that you just like, you can't do anything at all because you just don't know where to start, and that feeling is so overwhelming that you just end up not doing it at all. I get that pretty often, and I just found that the best way to combat that is to itemize things on a list, like on a to-do list of everything that needs to get done, and then allotting the time to do it one thing at a time, one day at a time, and just have a goal like, I want to get all of this done in the next 6 months. And just be realistic with your goals, because I think if you just want to be like super organized right away, like it's not going to happen. Even with me doing this as a job full time, there's no way that I'd be able to like get everything done that I wanted to get done in a really short amount of time. Like if you've been on this channel a while, you'll know that how many times have I organized this freaking closet and it still doesn't look the way I want? How many times have I done something like this where I'm like, oh, I'm super organized, and then it's just a mess again? Okay, so I'm pretty much organized now. No, I'm not organized, but I've kind of sorted everything. So I've got this container, and I feel like I have a lot of these hooks. And I'll probably just mix in sort of the bigger ones, because like it just seems like a waste to spend this entire thing on just a little bit of those. I've got lots of these, and I'll mix it with these smaller ones. And then I've got a ton of these things, but this is a little bit too big for this kind of container. So I'll take this out, and then I honestly, yeah, I guess I could do these ones in here. And then I have these kinds of hooks in here. And then I just have these like random ones, which I don't honestly think I'm gonna use, because they're meant to go in these little suction cups, but I really don't even use this. So I'm gonna get rid of these, because I don't think I'm gonna be using them. Even these I probably won't be using, so I will donate all of that. Yeah, I just don't think, like honestly, like I really only use these kinds of hooks, so I don't think I need any of those. These are for my Russo. These are like drywall hooks, so I actually have to put these in my little toolbox thing. But I think this is good for this little bin. Okay, and then this one will be for my Velcro ties, I guess. I just don't know if it's gonna fit, because, oh, I guess it does. All right, so I've got like these green ones, but see, like, look at that, like that's way too big. I mean, I guess I could put some, and then like these can go into storage, because I don't need that many Velcro ties, I don't think. The black ones. And then I've also got these things, which I don't really use that often, but kind of do, I guess. And then maybe just these magnets can go in here, because I do use these sometimes, but yeah. Okay, all right. And then the rest I'm just gonna put like into another bin somewhere, because like these don't fit. I think I'm happy with this, and I like that I can actually see it now on my cart, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just way better. The other ones were just so clunky and large. I'd like to be able to fit way more things on this plant oh, you're moving down. In terms of other stuff I need to do today, I need to water my plant shelf. And actually, I found a way to be able to use my electric sprayer out here without any kind of splashing, which is amazing. So I'll show you how I do that. And then I think that's gonna be it for today, because I have a lot of editing to do, and I just don't, and it is tax week. I'm working with my my tax guy like heavily this week, just trying to get everything done. And it's been a little bit more complicated this year because of Archie. We opened a investment account for him, and I opened the wrong kind, and the IRS doesn't like this kind of investment account, and so it's just been a giant headache. But I just need to focus more this week on getting that done, and then I can just like relax. But anyway, I'm gonna clean up here, and then I will catch up with you when I am ready to water. Before I water my plants, I just want to show you what's going on in here. So you will notice this gaping hole. I actually sold one of my exos. This one has been sold. It's being picked up on Monday. This one is pending, although I do think this person's gonna back out. I don't know if I announced this on my channel yet, but I'm redoing this entire plant room. All of this is going to change. I had a plan for what I wanted to do. The only thing is that what I needed will not fit in my car, so I need to go with a different plan, which kind of sucks, but I am done with the greenhouses. The only exo I'm gonna keep is this guy because I love it so much, and I think it's gonna be useful in acclimating new plants, isolating plants with spider mites, just things like that. Like, I still want the option of having a greenhouse, but I really don't need all of this anymore. So I'm slowly starting to purge everything in this room. I was gonna do like a whole video, just like a compilation of doing this whole process, but honestly, it's gonna happen over a long period of time, so it's just not really possible in my opinion. I would rather just kind of take you along as it's happening. But I'm gonna keep this. I'm keeping this shelf, keeping this exo, but I'm getting rid of all of this, and not the plants, just the fixtures, the supplies, the equipment. And I still need to figure out somewhere to keep my loamy because I do want to keep the loamy in here. But anyway, this is what it looks like right now. It's kind of scary adjusting to something brand new, but since we just renewed our lease with our landlord and we're going to be here for a few more years, I figure I'm just going to do it. Just going to do it. All right, you guys are going to hear Archie's little sounds in the background, but what am I doing? I'm watering. Okay, so if you missed it in a previous video, I have an electric sprayer now, and it is so cool. You'll notice I do not have an attachment on, and that is for a reason. So in that video, I was like figuring out the best way to water my plants with all the attachments that they had. I really liked this attachment. I will put in the photo. I just find that the overspray is a little aggressive, and so I did not want to use it in the living room because I don't want to have like water damage on the walls, on the floors. So I just thought, like, what would happen if I just used it without like a sprayer to kind of give it that pressure? And I was surprised that it literally just falls out. It doesn't like spray everywhere. It just comes out nicely. So that's what I've been doing to water out here. I have a 15, it's actually more than 15 liters. This is 15 liters, but there's a little bit more. But let's just call it 15 liters because I don't really ever fill it all the way up here. But this is what I've been using for my watering. I just fill the entire bucket, and this hose or tube is long enough that I can just leave it in one spot and water everything pretty much. So it's been really nice. Today I'm going to be re-inoculating and also fertilizing because I've been switching off I usually try and try and fertilize and inoculate every week, but I've been just like going crazy on the mosquito bit treatment or mosquito dunk treatment, whatever you want to call it, to handle the fungus gnats. It has gotten so much better. Like, it was a full-blown infestation before, but I just went all out and I did mosquito bits every other week. I did the yellow sticky traps, I have the hanging traps, I have the plug-in traps. Like, I have been catching gnats like mad, and all of the work has been worth it because it is so much better now. I think in the last like week, I've seen like 3 fungus gnats, and that just, it was so bad before. So anywho, I'm gonna be using TPS1 today, and then also king crab. Sorry, it takes a while to focus. This is the 2 things I'll be using. I'm just gonna add it to here, and then I'm gonna get to watering, and I'll give you kind of a close-up of what it looks like coming out of the nozzle. Okay, so for the 15-liter bucket, I am going to do about 12 to 15 pumps of my TPS1. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I do have to water pretty quickly here because Archie's due for a nap soon, and I kind of want to take him out and like go on the swing before he naps. And then the king crab, you need like the tiniest bit. It's half a milliliter per gallon. Oh my gosh, Archie. So liters to gallons, 15 liters is about 4 gallons. So for this, I would need 1 gallon, half a milliliter per gallon. So I'd need 1.5 milliliters for this entire thing. I do have drainage holes in a lot of these plants, so I'm probably gonna do 2 to 2.5 actually. Just because it drains out of the bottom. But if I were doing plants without drainage, then I would probably follow it a little bit closely, or more closely to the guideline. The most difficult part about this is actually getting it out of the sink and where I need it. Oy! But luckily I'm super strong. Do you want to say hi? Would you like to say hi to your friends? Can you sit? Show them how you sit. Oh, okay, or not. Hi. Well, I can't have you on me because your fur is gonna get on me. Normally I don't care. Oh, sorry. Careful. Normally I don't care, but I have someone coming over right now for lunch, so, and I just changed. Quickly, it is Sunday. It's been a few days since I filmed. I think this is gonna be the second to last day of week of, and all that I need to do today is, actually, going back. Today is gonna be the last sort of like mini episode or mini video in this video, and that's gonna be thrifting. So I am kind of changing the aesthetic a little bit on this shelf. I've told you guys before that I'm going to be collecting mini ceramic dog figurines for this shelf, and I'm gonna use that as a way to help style in, or I'm gonna use that to style in with the plants. And along with that, I also am trying to change out the sort of glass vessel aesthetic. I'm not getting rid of them, I just need cover pots for them. So I've been trying to find different kind of cute cover pots at thrift stores or just like any store really to kind of hide a lot of the glass vessels. So I have to go pick up another Soltec bulb tonight in a different city. And there's a thrift store down the street from where she's gonna be that I've always wanted to go to, but for some reason I've been so intimidated to go there. I don't know why. It's this massive thrift store. It's always really busy, and every time I drive by it, I'm like, I'm gonna go, and then I just drive by it, and I'm like, okay, next time. But today is the day. So I'm gonna stop by there before I meet up with her and see if I can find some cute cover pots. If not, maybe another little ceramic dog. I'm hoping I'd come back with something, but I will take you along and kind of show you what the thrift store looks like, show you what's there, kind of show you what the prices are. I've been trying to steer away from the normal thrift store I go to because their prices, I swear it's like every year the prices go up, every year. Well, yeah, every year, but every month the prices go up, and I'm just, yeah, I need to like venture out. And I've read Google reviews that this place does typically have cheaper prices than that thrift store. So yeah, I really hate filming in public. Like I hate being at stores, like going like this. Like I'm just really shy, and like I don't want people seeing that I'm filming, but I'm gonna try. I want to show you what this place looks like. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna have my mic clipped to my phone while I'm doing this, or if I'm just gonna do like a voiceover or what, but yeah, that's what today is. And then tomorrow, the only thing I need to do is clean out my rudsta because I have sold it. It's a very bittersweet, it's a bittersweet thing, but it's just time to move the rudsta. I wanna get it as clean as possible for her before pickup, and then we will wrap week of. So anyway, I'm not leaving until later. I do have a friend coming over, and I'm not gonna be leaving until like the end of the day, so I will catch you at the thrift store. Okay guys, there are a lot of people here, and the music is super loud, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use any of this audio without getting copyright stricken. Actually, not as much as I thought there would be, but still quite a few rows. I'm really trying to not get anybody that doesn't want to be recorded, which is probably everybody. Oh, I wish this didn't have this part. This aisle's not looking very promising. That's so cute. I really hope the audio is recording. God, I hate recording in public. My butt is cringing. Frames. Oh, here. Guys, there are some nasty sounds in this store. There's a lot of sick people that are like hacking loogies. What the heck? What are these? I mean, it's kind of cool, but like, what is it for? Like, what do you even pot in there? Prices are definitely cheaper. This is so cute. Okay, what do we think the price is? Please be under $6. Oh my God, she's mine. Oh, you're coming home with me. That is a beautiful, beautiful bowl. I don't even know what I'd use it for, but she's coming home with me for sure. Okay, I need cover pots, but I really don't want to go with like just black and white. I want something with like character, like even going towards like the terracotta route again, and like the creams and the beiges. This is kind of cute, but it looks kind of like a toothbrush holder. Lots of glass vessels. I don't need any more glass vessels. That's a really good size, this big one. That's a good size too, but I must resist. I do like these square ones though, because I can fit my square pots in it, but I don't like that price. I really don't. Oh my God, the music's so loud. This video is gonna be stricken down. Oh boy, okay. This is pretty cool too. This little vase. It's pretty cool, but I don't know what I'd use it for. Let's continue on. I don't think there's anything here. Kitchen stuff, frames, don't really need any of that. Silverware, I usually skip over this aisle, but sometimes you can find the strainers in here. This is what I'm talking about. And like really good like home organization stuff. I don't know what I'd use this for, but that's pretty. Whoa. Oh, is this for like a cabinet? Let me see. Yeah, sometimes they've got good strainers. Like this is a good one, but it's all rusty, so maybe not. This is also a good size, like in terms of the grid size, but it's kind of a weird shape. I'm wearing a mask because I knew there were gonna be people here hacking up phlegm. So gross. Kind of missed this stuff. Front here. This is pretty cool. I've been wanting new bowls, but I don't know if I want black. Gotta turn down because there's people. Cups. There's just cups and plates in this aisle, so I'm gonna skip that. Sorry. There's people around and I don't want to get them in the frame. Sorry guys, I don't have a tripod or anything, and I hope my mic is working. That place was a massive, massive disappointment. I have wondered about this thrift store for literal years. Like, I'm like, man, I bet you it's just stocked and there's so many things. I don't know if it's like a season thing, like they're like moving things out, but even if it was, it's like, shouldn't the at least like trinket area be stocked? So yeah, I probably will never come back here again, but now at least I know I can like scratch that itch and like I don't have to wonder anymore whether I'm missing out on anything, because I am not. But the good news is that bowl that said it was $4.49 or something, it was half off, so I paid like $2 for it. I kind of want to like use it in the kitchen somewhere. Like it's so pretty. I'm obsessed with it. It's like, I think that I was meant to come here just for that bowl. Anyway, I still have a few, I have like, I don't even know what time it is, but I'm pretty sure I still have some time to kill before I have to meet her. And there's another thrift store that's like 5 minutes away from where she's gonna be. So I'm just gonna head there and see if I can, I don't know, find anything else. I really want at least one more dog figurine today. I've been itching for one. So if I could find one cover pot and one dog, I would be happy. I'm not even looking at anything else. I don't want any clothes. I don't want nothing. I just want a pot and a dog. Okay, I'm at the second thrift store. Way more trinkets and stuff here, but the music is so loud and there's so many people. Oh my gosh, there's so many little doggies. Oh, they're sleeping. Oh my gosh, this one's so cute. Look how cute he is. I think I need a basket. Oh no. Look at all the trinketies. Oh my god, I see so many dogs. I'm so excited. First off, how dare you? How cute are you? And you have no price, but doesn't matter. You're coming home with me. Okay. Oh, look how cute he is. Not quite the style I'm going for, but still very, very cute. This place has so many. I think someone made this. This looks handmade. Just little kitties. Okay. Guys, it's a whole little hedgehog collection. Are these hedgehogs? Like someone just donated their entire hedgehog collection. Please. Look at him. Look at you. You absolute cutie. Okay, there's more dogs here. Oh my god. I'm trying to be very selective about, oh my god, there's shells. I'm trying to be selective about who comes home. He's really cute, but it's all dinged up. But I guess I could paint it. Can you even see? This guy hiding. Oh, there's one eye. The getup is a little weird, but it's so cute. I just don't know if I can get over it. Like I don't understand the crown thing. I don't really get it. And this one is like Jesus, or like a disciple. I don't know. This one is just dressed up in something weird. What are all these dogs in outfits? Dogs in different outfits. I don't get it. Guys, everybody's staring at me. I'm super embarrassed right now. Is he even holding a pillow? Wait, I saw one that I liked. Is it you? No, you kind of creep me out. Look at his eyes. That was really creepy. I was looking at a dog. Which dog was I looking at? I was like, oh, I need to go grab him. Was it him? I don't think I really love that one. It's not the vibe I'm really going for, but I do really like these ones that are laying down. Like, look how cute he is. I wish they had a pug version. They have a husky. They've got these little guys. This is like a, I don't know what kind of dog that is. Oops, sorry. Who else do we have here? I hate filming. I hate it. I hate it. I hate filming in public. I don't like doing it. I just stare and stare and stare. I feel so try-hard. I wish I didn't care what people thought of me. Do you know how liberating that would be? To just be like, nah, I don't care. Well, that person's staring at me. Oh, who cares? Doesn't matter. I'm really torn about this one because I have a soft spot for Dalmatians, and it's really kind of cool that he's holding this little ball, but I'm just confused about the crown. Why are you wearing a crown, dude? And how perfect would you have been if you were also not wearing a little outfit? Kind of partial to this one. Not quite sure. Look at this guy. Like, he's dressed up as a camel. Guys, I'm so extremely confused about this collection of, look at them. Look at them all together. Where did they come from? What is happening? Okay, anyway, I have one in my cart and I really, really like it. I want to just make sure I'm only bringing home ones that I really love and that would like, not match, but look cute with the rest of my little figurine collection. I need to sneeze bad. And it sucks. I only have like 10 minutes here and then I've got to go. I kind of wish I came here after I met her instead of before so I could take my time, but that's all right. Really interesting trinkets here. I'm into it. I'm into it. Okay, I'm going to do one last sweep. Make sure I did not miss any dog. Do you guys see any that I need to take home? Should I take home like one of these dogs? But like I'd have to touch this one up because it's so... Oh, I already have one. I forgot. I got this one. This one's perfect. Look how cute he is. I just love a good Dalmatian. I don't know why. Okay. I don't think there are any other dogs that are quite tickling my fancy, because I'm going for a very specific style. So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it for the dog hunt. I got 2. That's more than I thought I would get. The style is holiday candles. I'm just grazing over this. I'm gonna probably go straight to the pots. There are some over here. These are like vases. It's not looking promising. I just want one cover pot. That's all I want today. I'd be happy with just one. Not really sure about that color. Oh, this one's really cute. This is kind of what I'm going for. The sort of like speckled vintage look, I guess. I'm not really seeing any that are big enough to be a cover pot. Like there's some like cute ones, like even this little guy is cute, but it's like, what am I gonna do with it? It's so small. But you know, I got one today. That was my goal. There's a terracotta one back there. I'm not really going for the actual terracotta, but like just, I guess, the color scheme. If that makes sense. It's so hard not to get anyone in the video. Okay, there's a few more over here, but they're not really looking in the right color theme. Although this one's kind of cute, actually. I've been really, really loving blue lately. I don't know why. It's just been, I don't know. But would it look good with the rest of my stuff is the question. I don't know. Is it like a little bit too, you know, like I don't have any other blue planters. Steering away from black because I don't know. I'm just getting bored of the black, to be honest. Like, it just all looks the same. Good morning. It is the last day of week of. I am on a mega time crunch today because Archie's got a doctor's appointment. I need to get this thing cleaned out because it's being picked up in a couple hours and my head is spinning. So I threw on some blush and did not fix my hair, so I look crazy, but we're all friends here. So as a recap from yesterday, my little tiny haul, it was the smallest haul, but it was a good one. So we've got this first little guy. So I was wondering what he was chewing on, and I was like, oh, maybe it's a string. It's a hose. It's like a garden hose. But it's so cute. And I told myself, I'm like, don't get another Dalmatian because you already have 2 Dalmatian dogs, but I don't know if it's the spots and the colors, but I just love a good Dalmatian. So he's gonna make a good addition. And then I got this dog. I don't remember the name of this dog. It's not a Cocker Spaniel, is it? I don't think it is. And I actually noticed yesterday that it's got this crack across the entire thing. So this one is just hanging on by a thread. Honestly, one wrong move and this thing is gonna shatter, and I would be so sad because this is the exact style that I'm going for in like the dogs that I'm collecting. I really like this glazed look. I like that it's not super hyper realistic. Like it's very, I don't know, it just has the exact look I'm going for. And this one is just so cute, and I like that it's really tall because the other dog that I have, it's a basset hound, I think. He's like laying down and he's like really long, and so it's just gonna be nice to get some height. I'm scared of dropping this thing. Okay, and then I thought I saw Thripses. Both of those dogs were $3.99 each. This was the most expensive thing I got. This was $5.99, but I really like it. I just need to figure out who on the shelf can fit in this little pot. And then of course, my prized bowl that I found yesterday, this one was like $2. I want to somehow incorporate it into the kitchen. I just don't know if it's gonna have a spot, but I guess you'll find out because I'm gonna just place it on camera. But I do actually have like another little mini video that I wanted to add to this video. The concept was like my low maintenance plant slash plants I forget that I have. So I just have like a little list of just my plants that kind of go unnoticed because they require almost zero care besides obviously water and light. So I'm going to do like a little show and tell of those. But first I'm gonna clean this out. I'm not gonna give you like a up close, crazy long. It's gonna be a really quick part in this video. I'm just gonna gut it and give it like a little clean. It's got so much like sticky residue from my tape in here, so I need to like Goo Gone and try and get that out. Maybe before I do that, I can just show you some cool plants that I got in here right now. I'm not going to show you all of them though, because I am planning on doing an anthurium favorites video. I'm just waiting for so many leaves to harden off and it's taking such a long time, so I'll be very quick. I got this plant from my friend Zebrina, and I will throw in her handle down here. This is a Dock Block Zara crossed with the tortoise, and it came with this leaf, and this is the leaf that I grew, and it's just like, it just randomly gave me like blister variegation, which is so weird. Yeah, I don't know why or how that happens. I don't know if it's a cause from like chopping a plant, but yeah, pretty cool. It looks like lightning. So there's that one. I don't know where all these plants are going in the meantime. I have a ton of anthurium in here, and I think for now they're probably just gonna have to live on the floor, honestly. I am still trying to finalize what the plan is going to be in here in terms of this wall. I don't know yet. I thought I did, but I'm kind of second guessing myself. So yeah, might not do that. I'm going to maybe just show you ones that I probably won't feature in that video. Archie, I probably am going to show this in that video, but I just want to show this emergent leaf because it's so good. I think you guys can probably tell like what this plant is crossed with because it's got that iconic sinus. So this is an Ace Carla, and I'm just like really pleasantly surprised by it. Here are the older leaves. Well, it's not focusing, but I got them. I got them good. Yeah, they're like, I kind of knew it was gonna be a cute plant, but I had never experienced an emergent like this before. And it's just got me sort of like re-excited for this plant. I no longer have an Ace of Spades. It's in Alice's collection. I don't know if I'm ever getting it back. Not because she doesn't want to give it, but I don't know if I'm gonna take it back at this point, just because I'm not good at growing it. And I just feel like she's gonna spend all this time rehabbing it for me. It's gonna look like this beautiful plant, and then it's gonna come into my care and it's gonna give me the little ace pox thing again. So, but I love a good ace hybrid. Like my ace hybrids, they are just chef's kiss. Okay, so I'm gonna show you two of my Planty Love Co plants. So this one is a Brielle red crystal. And I'm collecting all the crystals. I just want them all. This one is a Zara Michelle Brielle red crystal. And this one kind of has darker leaves. It's a little hard to tell. Oh, you could tell sort of in this leaf. It's got that really like dark leaf. But I really like them both. They look very, very similar. Zara Michelle, yeah, they're probably gonna look very similar. If anything, this one might have more red in the emergent. But otherwise, you could pass them off as siblings, honestly. But they're really cute. I just, like once they're all big, where are they gonna go? Nobody knows. Nobody knows this information. I don't. Oh, okay, here. This one is from, gosh. Hold on. The Homebody. It almost escaped me. This one is a Black Widow Michelle crossed with a Fort Sherman. I am really scared of Black Widow Michelle crosses. I've just heard that they can be such a biatch. This one, not terrible, not terrible. Right now it's looking very just Fort Sherman, I feel. But I'm just hoping that this very minimal venation stays, but the sinus gets a lot brighter. So this is the plant that my friends and I have coined the anthurium tofu. Do we call it tofu or tofu getii? Anyway, I think that this plant is a mag ace hybrid, like an Indo-mag ace hybrid, but it's really, really, really beautiful. This one struggled quite a bit. It was a lot bigger before it succumbed to thrips and spider mites. I can still see some of the old damage on this old leaf. But Jing has one, Alice has one. They've since then hybridized it, but I just feel like I got a really good one. I really like the sinus on mine. It's hard to tell right now. It's a lot easier to see it obviously when it's much bigger, but it does this thing where it kind of looks like a gloriosum sinus when a gloriosum is at like full maturity. It's got a beautiful leaf color. It has a nice pink sinus. You can't really see it right now. You can see it more in this old leaf, but the emergent leaf color is really, really great. And I honestly, since this plant came into our lives, it's always been one of my favorites. So there's that. And then who else do I want to show ya? I feel like I'm just showing you all Variegated or all crystallinum hybrids. This one is a red crystallinum luxurians. The leaves don't really stay this round. This is like, I don't know, the newest leaves because I propagated it, but I wish it was this round. That would be amazing if it was this round, but it's not. It eventually starts to look a bit more heart-shaped. I was gonna sell this one, but now I'm like, do I really want to? I actually quite like it a lot. I'm not sure yet. I'm really... Thrips. Yeah, yep. A little gathering of thrips on this leaf. We hate to see it, but now that means I need to treat everything in here, which is fine. I'm honestly overdue for treating these plants anyway. What even is this plant? Oh, the Pluton Hofex. That's probably where it came from, honestly. Archie's like really starting to babble now. So I'm not gonna do it on camera, but honestly, I will probably just stick all of these plants in my shower and give everything a thrip spray. I'm just a little bit hesitant because there's so many emergent leaves, and I just find that the damage on the new leaves on anthurium, it's just so sensitive. So anyway, I'm not sure, but either way, I'll probably try and bin them or something, because now that they're going to be out of this cabinet, I don't want things spreading. But I have been finding thrips on like a few plants here and there. It's just been really strange. I don't know where they're coming from. It's very random. But anyway, I think that's all I'm going to show you for now, because I do want to save a lot of it for that anthurium video. But while Archie is awake, I think he has 20 minutes before his nap, so I'm going to gut this thing and just try and clean as much as possible. You guys, this is absolutely diabolical. This is diabolical. I am in trouble. I fear I have made a grave mistake. But the cabinet is clean, or as clean as it's gonna get. I did tell her that there's a bit of super glue here that just needs acetone, but I don't have acetone anymore. That was not there before, but I was trying to super glue this thing back on for her, and I didn't realize that it was dripping while I was cleaning the rest of the cabinet. I feel really bad about that, but I did tell her. I didn't want her to be surprised by it. She said it's okay. Thank you, Megan, if you're watching. But yeah, it's clean. I feel like this is as good as it's gonna look. I feel good about it. I included the little stuff, the hardware for her. The glass shelves are not perfect, but they're pretty dang clean. And now we have this, and I don't know. Truth be told, I have no idea. Oh, the background looks so sad. It was oddly emotional seeing the rudsta leave. I know it's just an IKEA cabinet, but had some good times with the cabinet. But I'm just ready to grow fully in ambient. I'm just gonna, rip that band-aid off. Anyway, ooh, new scalprum leaf. It's huge. Maybe I'll show it to you. Hold on. This scalprum pushed out like 6 or 7 inflows or flowers in a row and finally gave me a new leaf, and it's actually pretty large. Whoa. It doesn't really look that big in person, on camera, but it's actually really long. There are two plants in here. This is one. Oh, that's surprising. This is the newest leaf on the smaller plant. So yeah, this is actually ginormous for the secondary plant. This one pushed out another, I think it's pushing out another flower. The bigger one. This is the last leaf on the bigger one in the pot. But I just love this alocasia so much. This is the best alocasia in the world. Nothing tops this. Nothing. Anyway, you guys, I just changed a diaper, a poopy diaper that smelled so bad. It literally made my eyes water and my nose run. I have not had one of those, not mine. I have not changed one of those in a long time. So, yeah. It has been a Monday. It really has. It's been a Monday. And I'm ready to wrap this up because filming week ofs, they are so much more exhausting when you have a child. So I'm really excited to be filming this last part. And as I said, I'm gonna just show you guys some plants that I just forget that I have because they're so low maintenance. They require very, very little, a little bit of water, sometimes not even water, light, and they're good. Sometimes not even light. The first one I'm gonna start with is my Hoya clemensiorum Thailand. This is one of the last remaining Hoyas in my collection, and I'm actually glad that this one has been a lot easier. I'll tell you that I don't really know what the future holds with this plant because although I really like it, I just like, I don't know what to do with Hoyas. Like when I look at this on my shelf, I don't think it looks nice. I really don't. I just feel like it looks really messy and not right. But I really, really enjoy this plant. I do. Sorry, we had another earthquake. I think it was in this video I freaked out thinking there was an earthquake while I was filming. And I'm like, you know what? We're probably not gonna have another earthquake for a long time. And then we had one this morning at like 5 a.m. It was a 4.1. The last one was a 5.1. 4.1 is significantly lower than a 4.1 is significantly lower than a 5.1 in terms of like what you can actually feel, but it's still really scary. I just ordered a bunch of like earthquake proofing stuff. I'm gonna earthquake proof all of my plant shelves. Whatever this new installation is gonna be, I'm gonna make sure that it's earthquake safe as well. Earthquake proof all of the things in Archie's room. I am just on high alert right now. Anyway, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the plan is with my clem. I do enjoy this plant though. The leaves are, I don't know, they're just everything that I've always loved in an ancient dumpster Hoya. I like the way they feel, but truth be told, I don't on a day-to-day basis. I don't appreciate this plant. I don't seek it out. I don't remember the last time I even took a picture of this plant for Instagram, but it's so low maintenance and I like it. And so it's like, why get rid of it? You know, like why get rid of something that is easy to care for, really not taking up that much space. It's nice to look at, but I think it's just the nature of Hoyas. Like with my obovata, I think because it looks nice the way it's trellised, I can tolerate it, but I think if it was messy and like unruly and didn't have some kind of like flow, it would probably stress me out to the point that I'd get rid of it. And this is kind of where I am with this. Like I don't really know what to do. So I'll unclip it off of this arca trellis and just kind of show you what it would look like if it wasn't all kind of tidied up and secured to each other. This one kind of grew underneath. Hold on one second. I think I keep hitting my mic, sorry. Watch me break a leaf off while I do this. Okay, that one and that one. Okay, we've got all the clips off. So without the clips, this is her. This is what she looks like. I don't really know how to clip it onto this trellis to make it look better. I really don't. Either way, it always looks kind of crazy and messy, but I keep it around because it's a great Hoya, and I think anyone would be happy to have this if you're a Hoya lover, but I'm yeah, I don't know, but you know, we appreciate that she's very low maintenance and doesn't, you know, never has pests, never has nothing, no root rot, nothing. It requires nothing. Sometimes I can go like 3 to 4 weeks without watering it and it doesn't skip a beat. So yeah, I'm not gonna get rid of it. I'm just, you know, airing out my grievances regarding the trellis situation. Oh, now there's sap everywhere. That's great. I think it could probably use like maybe a circle trellis. I think a circle trellis might be a little bit better than an arch. But I want to keep it around because I do think that if I got rid of it, I would regret it. So I don't want to be regretting nothing. So that was number one. The second one, I forgot the actual name of this plant. It's like haworthia, zebrina, haworthia zebra something. And I got this from Vandula. I think I got this from Vandula's Farms. I potted it in like a long planter before, and I got that whole thing out of there mainly because I was just kind of tired of it, and I wanted to use that pot. I wanted to use that pot for something else. So I just got it into its individual pot. It's since then pushed out a little pup down here. It actually recently pushed out flowers, and I did not know how neat they were. And I can see little like seeds. I don't know if there's seeds in there, but oh, the flowers have like little stripes on them as well. And they're actually really, really, really cute. They're hard to photograph, but look at like the ones that haven't opened yet. They've got like little stripes. It smells like nothing, doesn't smell like anything, but yeah, it was a nice little surprise to see this flower. It's a nice change in the apartment. So this one, again, really does not require much. There was a time where I didn't water this for like a month to like a month and a half because it was in the windowsill of my bedroom behind a closed curtain, and I forgot that it was there. There was another plant in there that had completely dried out. This one was totally fine. And yeah, it even pushed out this pup while it was behind the curtain. It did dry out the tips a little bit, but I mean, honestly, it just seems like it's stuck in time. Like sometimes I think, is this even real? But yeah, I just think it's really cool. I feel like this is one of those plants that really go unappreciated just because it's so common and it's been around for so long. But if you take the time to appreciate this, feel all of these little ridges, like this is just the coolest plant. It reminds me of something that would be in like Beetlejuice or something, like a Beetlejuice kind of plant, Beetlejuice's world. Like this would be, I don't know, I just really like it. Okay, moving on to the next one. Let's see who I'm gonna grab here. I think there's like 8 or, oh, there's 7. Here is another plant that was potted with my, that's a haworthia, right? Sorry, not my niche, not my forte. These were potted with the haworthia. It was getting like way too big for the pot that it was in. So again, I separated them, and I've actually liked them separated more than together. They looked cute together, but this one pups so much more and so much faster than the other one. Like I think when I first got this one, it was just one. Yeah, I got this from my neighbor Nick. It was just this big one here, and it's given me all of these pups down here, and it's really cute actually. I like that it looks like a very deserty kind of plant, and I'm into it. So I potted it in this speckled pot that is supposed to be hanging, but I got this from my sister and she gave it to me with like this hairline crack. There's a crack that goes, where is it? I think it goes all the way down to the bottom, or maybe it's just that one. Basically, when I water this thing, it just like leaks out of the bottom. I don't know if there's like a bunch of like hairline cracks that I can't see, but whenever I water this one, I just take it to the the sink, so I can't really have it hanging anymore. It would be way too difficult to do waterings. But I think this plant looks really cute in it. I think the only thing that it's missing is like a top dressing, maybe like a sandy colored rock, like small gravel or something, because it just doesn't look quite right with the, or it doesn't complete that desert look with just soil. I just haven't gotten around to getting more of the gravel. This one's more thirsty than the haworthia. Like when I don't water it, a lot of the lower leaves will like completely shrivel up and dry up, and it does get really shriveled. When I rescued this one along with that one after like a month and a half of not watering, I thought I was gonna lose it. I thought the roots were all gonna be dead. Luckily there were some salvageable roots, but it was shriveled to a pulp. Like I just did not think it was gonna come back. So what I did was I soaked the entire, I unpotted it. I soaked the entire thing in water for 24 hours. It just like came back to life overnight. Oh my gosh, our food's here. I've been craving a burger for like a week and a half, and I'm on a diet. So my husband bought me a burger. I'm so happy. But yeah, I would say more high maintenance than that haworthia, but very resilient, good bounce back power. And I don't know, I really like this one. I just feel like it's a nice little addition to the windowsill, and I hardly ever need to do anything to it. So she is very appreciated in this house. This next plant is very special to me. It is very dusty. It's living in a windowsill. Any plant that's living in a windowsill, I always expect to just see like full-blown spider mites or just like something nasty. But this is my Dracaena reflexa, aka I think it's called the Song of India plant. I got this one from Alice. She got a large plant. She separated out this one stem for me. It has grown so much in the time that I've had it. When I first got it, it was actually, you know what? When I first got it, it was growing fine, and then I think I got some kind of like copper rust fungus, something happened to it, and I just beheaded it because all of the leaves were like really spotty. I was spraying it with copper fungicide and it wasn't doing anything. So yeah, I just beheaded it, and it grew a new growth point up at the top. So basically all the leaves that you see on here are brand new. I do this thing where I prune it back. So I like the look, this Dr. Seuss look of seeing a lot of stem and then just having like a little thing of leaves up at the top. I think the next thing that I need to do is kind of get bonsai wire and do some kind of shaping, I think. I'm not sure this is the shape that I want. Although it's not terrible, but I feel like it could be a little bit more structural. Like, I don't really know. Oh, that's not really my thing. That it just like, I don't have like that artistic eye for how like a plant should be, you know, bonsai'd, or like how it should be shaped, if that makes any sense. I'm always so appreciative when I see people do like vlogs in like overseas, somewhere in Asia. I love that content so much. That is like one of my favorite plant content to consume. Does that sound right? That's one of my favorite kinds of plant content to consume. Sorry, I knew that sounded wrong. But yeah, anywho, I do this thing because it rarely drops leaves. I will just start. Sorry, I should have given you a trigger warning. There's a lot of people out there that really hate leaf trimming. But I will like just rip bottom leaves off so that I can expose more stem. And then it just gives it like a nice, fun little look. And I think I'll leave, oh, okay, well, that one came off without my consent. I didn't ask for that. So yeah, I feel like that's good. I don't really like the look of a dracaena when there's like leaves that's covering the entire stem. I feel like a lot of the magic with this plant is in this exposed stem, which is, I buzzed, yeah. I thought you were crawling on the floor, you weirdo. He's like army crawling on the floor trying to talk to me. Sorry, our food is here. There's 4 more I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna eat first because I'm starving and I don't want my food to get soggy. But yeah, this is the last, or not the last one. This is the Dracaena reflexa. Benji, he had the variegated one, the one that has like yellow and green. Unfortunately, I think a lot of you guys know that Benji's house burned down in the LA fires, but that plant was just so, that tree was absolutely beautiful. But I much more prefer the green version of this plant than the yellow. But both are really, really nice. So if you've been looking for like a good tree-like plant to add to your collection that's not very pest prone, does not require much, I highly recommend this one. And I just have it potted in pond, in no drainage, and seems to be growing just fine. Respectfully, I will be vomiting now. I am so full, and this is why I have cut down on eating fast food, because I feel so gross after. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 plants left to show you. It's been a while actually since I've shown this one. I haven't pruned this thing in a long time. This is my absolute favorite plant to prune. And like when you pluck off the dead ones and the dry ones, it just pops out. Like, it's so nice. So yeah, every once in a while I like to go in here and pluck out all the, I think it's because it takes the rhizome with it. It takes the rhizome with it, and it just makes this this, I can't explain it. I feel like some people will know what I'm talking about, and the rest of you are gonna think I am just a complete nut job, which is totally fine. There's so much new growth coming out of here. Okay, so anywho, this is my rabbit's foot fern. Got this kind of a long time ago, and it is it's doing the thing that I wanted it to do, and yeah, it's growing pretty great. At this point, I'm not really surprised it's still alive, but probably about 6 months ago, I would have been like, man, I'm really surprised this thing is alive. But I've just come to understand that this fern is not as high maintenance, and it's just not as high maintenance as a normal fern. So I have it obviously in no drainage. It has lived everywhere. It's lived right next to a heater. It's lived right next to a drafty window. It's lived in a hallway with very little light. It's lived in a window with lots of light, and it's kind of just like adapted to whatever I have thrown at it, which has been a nice surprise. I'm not gonna say that this is like a crazy low maintenance plant because it still requires water, but I think for a fern, it's just so, it's not unheard of, but you just don't think low maintenance and fern, at least not me. The two should never be put in a sentence together. But this one has been such a delightful surprise, has never had any kind of pest that I can see. It has done well with a little bit of a drought between waterings. I would not say like this can, tolerate little water. I'm not gonna go that far, but I will say if I treated any other fern that I've had in my collection like I treat this one, it would already have been in the afterlife. And so it's been quite hardy, honestly. I did move it recently because when it was next to the heater, I've been just running my heater all winter. It did dry out quite a bit and it's thinned out a lot. It used to be way more bushy, but when it was living next to the heater, it was just like drying up like this. But before that, totally fine, like no kind of nothing on it. I was like, I don't know what's different this time because I have tried growing this plant before with very little success. I really don't know what the difference is. I don't. But yeah, it's just been kind of living where it lives. I move this plant around a lot. I will admit that this is definitely more of a filler plant. It's not one that I keep around because I'm just super excited for new growth and whatever. It's just if I need a bookshelf that needs a little placeholder or needs a little something, I'll move it onto there. Right now it's living in my bedroom. I installed a plant shelf in there a little bit ago. I didn't show it on any socials or anything. It's kind of just where I put a lot of my arid plants because there's a south-facing window in there. I'm gonna be installing a Soltech light above the plant shelf, which is why I picked up that Soltech light yesterday. But I think my hope for this plant specifically is just to get longer. I would really like it if it like trailed a little bit, not trailed, but like if these leaves just got bigger and it kind of like hung over the front more rather than got more bushy, because it looks fine like this, but I just think that this would look way cooler if it was bigger. That is the one and only fern in my house, and I do not plan on bringing home any other ferns now or in the future. Respectfully. The next one is this Ficus alii. I have not shown this one on my channel in a while. This one started as a little wee lad, and I think I got this one back in 2022? 2021 or 2022, I can't remember, but it started as like this like really little plant in like a tiny 4-inch pot or maybe even smaller. And it's gotten much bigger since then. It's like becoming a full-blown tree now almost. The trunk is getting a little bit thicker, but yeah, I would say this is another one of my really low maintenance plants. I've had people say that they've brought really big Ficus alii home and then it just like dropped all of its leaves. I'm not sure if it's because I've grown this from a small plant and it's always basically just like lived in these dry conditions or like the conditions in this house. For the most part, I think it's always been in no drainage. I can't remember, but either way, I just feel like it's adapted really well to my house. And just this year, it's pushed out a lot of these like secondary growth points. So like all of this is new, all of this right here is new. So basically, instead of only just growing from this main branch here, it's starting to branch off in other directions. Like all of this is brand new. So I do think it's gonna get a lot like bigger. Like I think I should have like a really nice big bushy thing. I'm not sure what my goal is for this plant really. I don't know if I should start like maybe staking it up so that it grows more like a tree rather than like hanging, but I kind of like the hanging look. I don't really know if I want like a full-blown tree, so once it gets a little bit too unruly, I can always trim it back. It's been a little bit difficult trying to find a good spot for it, but I think I finally gave it a permanent home in my bedroom. With that new plant shelf, it's living like at the top of the plant shelf. Kind of a happy accident because during the first earthquake we had, the 5.1 magnitude, my picture frames fell off the wall and it broke the frame, it broke the two plants that were there. And now that top shelf was just empty. And so I took this out of my plant room because it was kind of just like living in a dark little corner. And I do think that it's gonna fill in that corner really well, but it is gonna need some supplemental light. But I've definitely found this plant a lot easier than, I'm not gonna say the Ficus benjamina because I've never personally owned one, but I know the tendencies of the benjamina because I grew up with the benjaminas. Actually, no, I did own a benjamina. I owned a benjamina back in 2000, what was it, 2014, like a really tiny one, the variegated one. And well, I don't even know if I could say I owned it because I had it for like 2 weeks. I brought it home, I repotted it, and then it croaked. I've read people that had benjaminas that like if they even moved it like 3 feet in a different direction, it just dropped all of its leaves, or you give it a little shake and all the leaves fall off. This is not one of them. I've found this to be easier than even the Ficus elastica, the burgundy. That one, I don't know. I feel like people are either really good at growing the burgundy or they're not good at growing it. And I've had so many. I have tried to be a Ficus elastica girly, but I don't know. They always just like end up as little sticks with no leaves on them. So I don't know what's up with that, but this one way easier. And I actually like the leaves on these a lot more. They kind of remind me of the Eve Rocheri, the Hoya Eve Rocheri, which is one of my favorite Hoyas. And yeah, really happy to have a Ficus that actually likes me, unless I just jinxed myself right now. This next one, I think it goes without saying. The ZZ plant. I got this one from Alice. She gave it to me, I don't remember when she gave this to me, 2022? No, 2023, I think she gave it to me. She gave me this little guy, and then it grew. This one, when I tell you guys, this one lived in, you know that saying like, oh, what's the, not the saying, what that like question that's always been asked, like, what plant can I grow in a windowless bathroom? The ZZ, the Raven ZZ. I'm not gonna recommend it. I'm not gonna go tell everyone to go buy the Raven ZZ and put in a windowless bathroom, but this has lived in a windowless bathroom for a long time and did just fine. The longest I've gone without watering this, 2 months. 2 months, because I had it in, again, a windowsill in my bedroom, just have not opened that curtain in a long time. And when I finally rescued it, the layer of dust on the leaves were so thick. This plant was gray. It was completely gray. This just bone dry. You could lift it and just like launch it into space. I want to say that out of all of the plants in my house, this one is the most low maintenance. And I remember Alice was here one day, I think it was last year. She saw this, like, I think it was sitting on the little sill in my plant room. She's like, oh my gosh, why do you still have that? Like, you could throw it away, it's fine. I was like, no, I actually really like it. I think it's really, really cool. My, gosh, I want to say this right. My husband's brother's sister's mom, Joe, if you're watching, hi Joe. She messages me from time to time asking for advice. She has a really, really big ZZ plant and she was asking me about dividing it, and she had to repot it and stuff. And I think if I ever tire of this plant, I might just give this to her just to add it to her her collection. She has a really, really nice house with huge windows, and I just think that this would be a great addition.
That would be my mom. You mean
Oh no.
husband's brother's wife's mom.
Oh yeah, my brother's husband. My brother's husband's wife's mom. We're not doing some weird stuff over here, okay, you guys? Basically, my sister-in-law's mom. I should have just said that. The last one, I had to end it with this. I always have to end it with this. This one is actually really thirsty. This is the first time I've actually seen a dead leaf on it in quite a while. And this should be way heavier. I should not be able to do this easily. It's living in my kitchen, like on the very high shelf, and I'm like, I'm not gonna water it. I don't think I've watered this thing in, I'm gonna say a month. I haven't given this water in a month, and I can kind of see some of the leaves are crinkly, but again, another plant that very drought resistant, just kind of tolerates whatever I throw at it. But she's a beast. And it's, you guys, the situation back here, it's not good. It's dire. It is in fact dire. There's a trellis, my largest trellis. There is there's two bamboo stakes. It's taped on to the trellis, to the bamboo stakes, to the plant, and it's still like leaning forward. So I don't know what the plan is. If somebody has like a mega industrial trellis that doesn't look ugly, send that my way, because she needs it. I want to keep the same shape though. I'm so scared of retrellising this and having it look like absolute caca, because look at how nice it looks. It just looks so pretty. I also thought, what if I found like a really big circle trellis and just did like a, but where the heck would it go? See, it's just, it's like one problem after another. But when I first got this abovada back in 2021, I don't know my timelines anymore. When I got this a few years ago, I could have never imagined that it was going to turn into this beast of a plant, because I thought, like Hoyas grow so slow, it's going to be like this small thing forever. She proved me very wrong. She proved me very wrong. But I'm glad, I feel like she's just a flex. Sorry to say it. She's a flex. She's my biggest flex. And she's my no drainage queen. Whenever someone says like, you can't grow in no drainage, I'm like, yeah, look at her. What are you looking at? But I should give it some water. It is very, very dry, but these roots are happy, healthy, thriving, 30, flirty, and thriving. Yeah, another Hoya that really does not require a lot. I think I can count on 2 hands how many Hoyas I have left in this house. Okay, so that is gonna wrap it for this week's week of. I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini video. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. It's like a week of mini videos, maybe. I don't know what it's called. If you guys have a good idea, obviously I'm gonna call it what I'm gonna call it when it goes up, but if you guys have a better idea for what I should call it, give me all the suggestions. Also, I don't know if I'll be doing this again. Maybe I will, if it gets a good response, if you guys like it. Maybe I can try and do something like this every few months. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week. I hope you got lots of stuff done. Hope you maybe learned something. If you didn't, that's fine too. Next week, I think I'm finally gonna do my anthurium's favorites video, if these leaves would just hurry up and harden off. But I think I should be ready by next week. So stay tuned for that. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.